Hello. This is crazy. Okay, this is for the VOD watchers, because no one's gonna be here. Because I've been gone, like, in internet equivalent years, like 10 years. But give me a second to, like, collect. I'm just gonna do my socials because this part ain't gonna matter. So, I'm gonna need your help since it's a new setup. So, if anybody, I'm gonna repeat this when more people come and join. But if there's like an audio problem or like a webcam problem, like something's going on, like you guys need to like help me out. If there's an audio problem going on. Hi, Red Man. What's up? How you doing? It's been a minute. I'm good. I just finished moving. I guess I'm finished moving physically, but like the camera does not, you don't see that area. It's filled with boxes. So I'm not totally done with moving, but I'm in New York now and I'm chilling as well. Where are you tuning in from? Yeah, I'm happy. I am happy I am here. And I'd say probably, I don't know. Maybe like, I still got like maybe 55, 60% left to like, okay, 60% left to kind of be like, all right, I can actually have a housewarming party. So that I've gotten 40% done. I don't know. But I miss streaming. Streaming shouldn't be one of the first things that I set up, but I haven't streamed in like the internet equivalent years of 10. So, yeah, you have not streamed in a minute. Yeah. It's been a fucking minute. All right. So, I don't know how long I'm gonna... Is there audio problems, by the way? Because, like, if there's, like, an audio problem, like, let me know. Because, again, I just reset up everything. And I've had streams before where, like, I'll be, like, 2 hours in, and then it'll cut off. Like, audio cuts off. You know? Okay, so we're gonna do politics, obviously. Let's start with, like, a roundup. Where's Philly Deem? I heard Gavin Newsom said some shit. What did he say? Here, Philip DeFranco. Hi, brah. Everything's good so far, Red Man? Okay, that's perfect. I know. The world is dying. Like this, every time I take off, like crazy shit goes down and I'm not streaming and it's just like, what the fuck? The Middle East popping off. Now America's crumbling. Yo, okay, I've been moving, like I've been telling Redman, since 2025. Yeah, it's like March, and like it's insane. I've been a little busy to like keep up 100p of like everything politics wise, but I am trying because I am really busy. So I don't know how long I will be streaming today, but it's been too long. I miss you guys. I miss talking. Hi, good guy. Why Mary? Why the dash? I don't understand. All right, let's get started. And I want to react to this Sam Cedar. He went to Jubilee and did this. Like, that's super brave. I could never do that. But let's just start with like a news roundup.
Education and food aid with thousands of jobs getting slashed in $1 billion.
Tell me if there's audio problems. One's too loud versus the other.
Burn and shred classified documents, with many asking what they're trying to hide. The truth about Mr. B's business empire just came out, and the situation and numbers are shocking. And I've got some awesome space and cat news just to take the edge off for you. We're talking about all that and much more. 9 things you need to know today on today's brand new Philip DeFranco show. You daily dive into the news, how it's being covered, and how people are reacting to it, starting with this. So the Trump administration has now disemboweled the education department, but I mean, they're just getting started. Or with newly appointed.
Okay, let's just pause there for like 2 seconds and just think about that sentence right now. This is insane. Like, this is America. How are we dismantling the Department of Education? Like, that's absolute, like, I can't. Like, this is ridiculous. Have you seen the Hassan edited version on that girl doing the whole nationalist speech? I died laughing. No, please link. I've been moving, so I've been very busy, and I just try to keep up with like the macro. But if like little micro drama with like other streamers, I'm staying out of like the Hassan ban that lasted like 2 days or whatever. I'm like kind of staying out of that. Just because, like, politics-wise, it's hard to keep up with that. You died. This is glorious. Okay. Let me see what's going on. Also, like, some of my extensions for, like, streaming started not to work. So for next stream, I'm going to kind of fiddle with that before I jump back on. Before I go live. But you just gotta bear with me. I just literally my first stream back. The only reason why I am clicking on this is because I know you Wait, what do you mean by edited version? Like, is this like AI or is it just like edited as in like someone clip chimped like Hassan reacting to No, with that TikTok meme sound. Oh, okay. I got you. Let's see if we can get bigger. Okay.
World order needs to be thrown away completely.
Okay, why is it like 140p? Why is it 140? Okay, we're going to watch the actual Jubilee video, and it's not going to be 140p.
And I think Christian nationalism would be a good alternative.
Okay, get the fuck back to your seat. Get the fuck back to your seat. Women should be seen and not heard. Why are you here? Frolicking about. Why are you here not barefoot and pregnant in your home, in the kitchen, serving your man? Why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to cameras? Are you a witch? Are you a witch? Shoulders uncovered.
No.
Frolicking about like
No. I mean, he's right. He's right. He's fucking right. He's right. I mean, like, why is she there? The only reason why anybody is taking her seriously, the only reason why she's able to have the opportunity to speak to Sam Cedar is because of the freedoms that the quote-unquote liberals have afforded society. Hi, Not Streamer. How are you doing? Missed you? She's Canadian too? Yo, what the fuck? No. No. Okay, I'm not saying that if you're from another country and you're studying here or whatever, that you can't understand American politics well. Because it's like just like a legal, okay, I don't know. But like it doesn't help that she's Canadian with the whole clip. And the whole like anti-liberal, like, you know how, you know, people on their side are like, go back to your country. So if I'm giving what Hassan is giving is like, go back to your country then. Like, why are you here? Not Streamer, doing well. Long time no see. I'm doing well too. It's a little bit of a chaotic time for me right now. I'm just 40% done with moving. I'm repeating this again to people who are still here. But yeah, people trickle in and come in and out like the first hour. So I often have to repeat myself. But, there's a lot of change going on around me. I'm really busy, like doing things that's got to be taken care of so that I have the freedom to do what I want to do, to be happy. So I'm just, you know, living that life right now. That's where I'm at right now. Has anything changed for you, streamer? Not streamer. Since I last saw you, which was like 10 years ago. Life duties. I think of it more like formalities and logistics. And logistics, you know, just take care of what you got to take care of, and then you can do whatever the fuck, you know, like maybe that's just like something from my childhood, like, yeah, work hard, play hard, but take care of work first so that you can play hard. I guess that is what I mean. Not streamer, nothing changed, just do workout. I mean, that's great. Are you on like a routine now? I need to get back into working out. I miss it a lot, but I just don't have fucking time. I am losing a lot of weight unintentionally, which is not good. I'm trying to eat more. But as you know, if anybody's been to New York City and chat here, that you walk a lot. And a lot of the times when you're busy, you forget to eat. Or when you do eat, you don't have time to eat. You don't eat a lot. It's a lot, you know? But I'm trying to eat more. Yeah, that's the spirit. Not streamer. Yep, I gained weight and muscle. That's good. I mean, muscle's like heavier than like, I'm gonna like this shit. Oh. Muscle's heavier than fat, so that's probably why. So you should go by like measurements, you know? All right, let's freaking continue this. I'm already stopping. I'm going back to the habits of like streaming.
Appointed Education Secretary Linda McMahon, the wife of Vince McMahon and WWE executive, completely shuttering the department's offices today while she lays off nearly half its workforce, cutting it down from just over 4,200 people to just below 2,200, with those who got laid off reportedly being put on administrative leave starting March 21st. Notably, when Fox's Laura
That's
Ingraham asked her whether
50%, no?
shutdown, McMahon
Is my math not mathing?
Actually, it is, because that was the president's mandate as directive to me. clearly is to shut down the Department of Education, which we know we'll have to work with Congress, to get that accomplished. But what we did today was to take the first step of eliminating what I think is bureaucratic bloat. And that's not to say that a lot of the folks, it's a humanitarian thing too. A lot of the folks that are there, they're out of a job.
And with that, as you already mentioned, Trump cannot legally abolish the Education Department without an act of Congress.
I was about to say, like, he can't do that. Like, he can't, like, like, he needs, like, the majority of Congress, right? And it has to be, like, they can't filibuster. I mean, like, they're not going to bring back the talking filibuster, but just, like, filibuster in general. Oh, that's what he's going to talk about next. He would need 60 votes to bypass a filibuster. 60 Republican votes. I don't know, man. Anything could happen, honestly, in this world. All right.
Republicans would need 60 votes to bypass the filibuster. But also, last Friday, McMahon told Fox and Friends that Trump was preparing an executive order seeking to eliminate the department, with a draft order reportedly directing McMahon to do everything she legally can to dismantle it while acknowledging the need for Congress to totally abolish it. And with this, Trump's claim since the beginning is that he's simply handing control over education back to the states. With him saying this morning about the department's workers.
Our Department of Education's, maybe more so than any other place, has a lot of people that can be cut. They're number one, not showing up to work. Number two, they're not doing a good job. We have a dream, and you know what the dream is? We're going to move the Department of Education.
Project 2025.
We're going to move education into the states, so that the states, instead of bureaucrats working in Washington, so that the states can run education.
But there, you have critics like Randy Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers, saying that misunderstands how the Education Department actually works.
States and localities control education right now. From graduation standards to curriculum, the department doesn't run anything. What it does is fills opportunity gaps. So we're talking about kids in America, 90% of whom go to public schools. They want to take the funding.
It's 97%. That's high.
Pay for Elon's tax cuts. Don't do this.
Fuck
to
Elon.
our American children.
Okay, so I've been telling you. Is my Yeti too loud? If so, just like let me know. I will turn it down. So I don't want to be like screaming in your ear. Sounds fine to you, Pra? Okay. So Pra and not streamer and any return viewers, as you have known, like I've been saying, from somebody who emigrated here, lived here as an expat for so many years before becoming a citizen. I've got something to say about that too. About that Colombia guy. It hits pretty close to home, especially now I'm in New York City and I went to Colombia. All I'm saying, to go back to the education thing, America is famous and known around the world as the best quality higher education, so like university level and up. But around the world, for lower education, it's considered one of the worst, which is ridiculous. And like, also not ridiculous, it's just like, it's like, how is that a thing? And now we're gonna get rid of the department, or try to, and like completely like defund it or whatever. Like, if anything, it needs more investment than less. Hi, what's up? 2321. It is kind of like a paradox. It's almost it's very confusing how that is the case. I suppose it has to do with like pay and like school curriculum. So if it was paid more, people would pursue that position more, you know? So you get the best qualified, but they don't get paid enough, so people don't want to be teachers. But like good teachers and good professors, which is easier to find because they get paid really well, makes such a difference. Like I keep in touch with some of the professors that really made a mark on me. I don't know if you guys ever did that, but it's great. It's almost like they're like a mentor. Like, you know how, like, was it like whoever the mentor of like Aristotle, like they each, the big philosophers all had the previous one as a mentor. So it's almost like kind of that kind of vibe.
Department actually does. It provides a bunch of unique federal services. Services that include administering student loans and financial aid, dispersing funds for poor kids, homeless kids, and disabled kids, managing college accreditation, enforcing civil rights laws, and measuring student achievement nationwide. But notably, you have a senior official claiming to the Hill that the cuts won't impact student aid, students with disabilities, civil rights investigation, and formula funding to states. Except, we know that's probably not true for at least one of those. Or with reports noting that the already understaffed Office of Civil Rights suffered particularly steep cuts, with regional centers shuttered or reduced to a skeleton crew. But we've also heard discussions from the White House about moving certain functions to other departments rather than outright eliminating them. Namely, handing civil rights to the DOJ, student loans to the Treasury, and disability programs to Health and Human Services. But what we are now also seeing
Why
is that
disability? Isn't that DEI? Isn't that fucking DEI? Why? No, you're not. No, that's un-Trump like. That's un-MAGA. You shouldn't be doing that. That's DEI. Okay, but on a more serious note, I was thinking like, all right, on my flight here, I was like, get me to New York City. Just land, just fucking land, because like I was flying out of Atlanta, right? And like Delta, it's like the biggest one. It's like where they're like based off of. Like 3 hours before my flight, like a Delta flight had to return because they fucking like had some engine issue. Like I was like terrified. I was like I might have like a panic attack, especially when the freaking the pilot came on and was like, yeah, it might be a little bit bumpy on the way up, but like make sure you have your seatbelts on because it's really windy in New York, so we're gonna expect some bumps. And when a pilot says bumps, it means there's gonna be turbulence. It's kind of like when a doctor or something says it's not gonna hurt, it means it's gonna hurt. Or like when the doctor says it's like it's gonna be uncomfortable, that's what they mean. It's gonna fucking hurt. Like I hate that shit. Just say it's painful. Don't say it's gonna be uncomfortable. You know. So I was like freaking out, and like okay, so we were on a final approach. I was still freaking out because all these like this ascending and descending, like landing and taking off are the most dangerous part of the flight. Anyway, we circled LaGuardia for like 10 minutes because it was so windy we could not land. The plane, I was sitting on the window seat. The plane, you could see it was like being blown sideways. It was crazy. It was a miracle that I didn't have a panic attack. I mean, I had my Xanax with me just in case, but like that, no. We circled for about 10 minutes until we could find a good window of opportunity to land. Speaking of flights, I canceled my Airbnb in Vancouver because I was like, nope, if I go, I'm 100p gonna die with my luck on a plane. What do you mean your luck on the plane? I'm pretty sure nothing's happened in Canada. This is just fucking American crazy, chaotic Trump, FAA bullshit. Hi, Andar Soma. Welcome.
A reportedly overwhelming overwhelming state unemployment system. This, according to a lawsuit filed by some state attorneys general last week, with it claiming that by suddenly laying off tens of thousands of federal workers without giving them severance or warning state agencies ahead of time, the White House effectively flooded state insurers. So, for example,
Can you do
Maryland,
that?
which received less than 200 jobless claims from federal workers over the whole first quarter of last year, now
That sounds
reportedly sees
illegal.
30 to 60 new claims every single day. And the suit says that state investigators have to examine each of those claims especially closely because the workers were laid off for different stated reasons and in such a chaotic manner. So that process would already be time consuming, but the suit adds that many state agencies aren't hearing back from the federal government as they try to obtain the information they need to resolve claims. All of which it says has created delays.
No.
Financial limbo as many of them wait.
Andar, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Nah, this community loves Trump. We are very pro Trump. This community. Yeah. We all voted for Trump. So, welcome. Are you? Oh, okay. You voted for him? Yeah. So fucking at one point, I saw eggs were like $12 for a dozen, and I was like, fuck that. I was like, how am I supposed to get my protein? But then I found like I got lucky, and there's like a grocery store like down the street, and it was like $6.75 for a dozen. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm taking that. Like, that's crazy. And like, what the fuck? Like, the stock market is dropping, and we might head into a recession. Like, it's ridiculous. We're supposed to be getting better. I'm a diehard Trump fan. What is it that you like about him? Enlighten us. Stock market is on life support. I think America is on life support.
To see if they can get their jobs back. But these layoffs also aren't the only education-related cuts that we're seeing right now. For example, the Department of Agriculture reportedly slashing over $1 billion in funding for school meals and food banks. With that, including $660 million for the local Food for Schools program and $420 million for a program that provides food to food banks and organizations that reach underserved communities. And all of this is we're seeing things like the Nonprofit School Nutrition Association warning that Congress is considering further cuts. Cuts, including one proposal that would kick an estimated 24,000 schools serving 12 million students off of the community eligibility provision, which allows high-poverty schools to offer free meals to all students without an application. Or a proposal that would strip 1 million students of automatic eligibility for free school meals, and another one requiring income verification with every meal and reduced price meal application. And so with that, you have the nonprofit's president writing in a statement, these proposals would cause millions of children to lose access to free school meals at a time when working families are struggling with rising food costs. Meanwhile,
we just talked about fucking eggs. Oh my fuck. Okay. This is very foreign to me because growing up, people around me would either bring their food to school or there was a cafe at school and then there was a cafeteria. And people would just buy shit throughout the whole day. So this is very foreign to me. But the thing about certain types of people, they cannot empathize with people who aren't as lucky as they are and did not grow up the same way or did not have the same circumstances in their life. They cannot empathize until it happens to them. For example, like when a family finds out their child is gay, and they were previously anti-gay. Now, they're not. And I just it's like something that differentiates people, I think. And it's really sad because I think you should be able to empathize with people and put yourself into their shoes. And think about if you were in that position, how important this would be. No, we are not. I'm denying that comment, Andar. I can't. He's a man. Like, that's not a good enough reason that you support him as president. Like, would you. Okay, Andar, this is a question for you, Andar. Would you prefer a gay man to become president first or a woman? And you have to choose. Hi, XYZZZ 1994. It's dangerous how much power Trump gives to Elon. Yeah. I wonder what's up with that. I think it's part money and part like I don't know. Like, Elon has a lot of money, so they might have a friendship. I don't know. Like, do they know how to be friends? Like, do they know the concept of friendship, or is it like transactional? You know? Elon is a chill guy. He's my broski. How is he chill? Like, elaborate. XYZZZ. Elon fighting with Polish foreign minister for no reason. When did this happen? Like I said, I just came back to streaming after moving. This is my first stream back. So if there's any technical problems, please let me know. If there's any, just let me know. It's been hard to keep up with everything, like all politics, because I'm really busy, but please link me. XYZZZ. We can watch it. We can watch it together on stream. Did you guys see the Zelensky shit? The Zelensky and JD Vance and Trump the other day when I wasn't streaming? Fuck. Yeah. I would have streamed that day. I swear to God, I would have streamed that day, but my chair had not arrived. Literally, this chair arrived today. And I went out today, took care of what I needed to take care of, run some errands, kind of chilled out for a bit. And then I came back and I fucking started streaming. Because I was like, come on, Mary. You haven't streamed in like 10 years. You gotta come back. And thank you for those of you who have reached out to me privately and checked up on me. That really means a lot. Like, a lot. So, but yeah, that was crazy. That like sent shockwaves around the world. Like, that was like NATO, like, I don't know, man. NATO is like teetering. And in my opinion, NATO is like one of the only reasons why World War III hasn't happened yet. So, with like the Asian Chinese led alliance, So we got to be very, very careful. I know Hassan would probably disagree with that, but I have my own views. But what does it matter? I'm a woman, right? Andar, neither. Andar, you have to pick. That was the condition. Andar, a baby could run the country better than a woman or a gay person. Wow. No one clip me out of context there, okay? Fucking, my mod, fuck. He does it all the time because it's so funny, and I let him because, like, he's, like, been my mod forever. But only he's allowed to do that. I don't know. I gotta hit him up because, like, Fool. I gotta hit Fool up. XYZZZ. Trump said he can do anything one day. He can go check the school, and one day he can check up army who gave Elon the power to touch the army of US and educate. I'm not really understanding the grammar. can you rephrase that? Elon is fighting with the foreign minister of Twitter. Okay, can somebody fucking link me, please? Like, I'm just, like, dying. The Zelensky stuff literally is what made every single European anti-American. See, what the fuck? We're so cooked. And we're not all bad. Like, those of us, you know. But one thing that I do agree with Trump, I cannot believe I'm saying this, is that, like, they've been hiding underneath our nuclear umbrella for too long. Everybody who's in NATO they agreed to these terms. They have to start paying and contributing to NATO just as we do. We pay so much and they hide behind our nuclear umbrella. And I think Trump saying that, threatening to leave if they don't, has prompted multiple countries to increase their spending on their military. And I think fair is fair. I'll give him that. Again, I'm trying to reorient my dish, okay? Thank you for the link, XYZZZ. Is this good diplomacy? Yeah, I'm trying, I'm trying to put myself in, in somebody else's shoes. Like, he won the popular vote. I mean, they put on a very bad candidate, but like, Trump said in his interview that he allows Elon to touch education and military. Is that legal? Doesn't he have to be like, doesn't he have to go in front of Congress? Like, this is some weird ass workaround kind of situation. And I feel like it's super illegal, but they have the Supreme Court. That's the problem. Like, you can't have faith in, like, okay, worst comes to worst, it'll go straight up to the highest court of the land and they'll shut it down. You can't do that anymore. Over a week ago, he said it, maybe 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry, XYZZZ, I've been moving, but thank you for informing me that he literally said it. Hi, Habib. Long live Comrade Kim Il-sung and the Juche idea. What? May we reunite under the banner of Marxist-Leninism and progress towards a scientific social... What the fuck? The United States is accelerated towards decline, friends. Yeah, unfortunately that's true, but only that part of your statement. It's time for change. Yeah, I will agree. It's time for change in America. Or else we're going to have the fall of the American Empire. And I don't fucking want that. Just like the fall of the British Empire. I don't want to be under Chinese control. Let's just say that. I left the country for a reason. I'm safe either way, guys. Like, they'll take me back if they win the war. If we win the war here, I'm a citizen, I'm a citizen and I've lived, my life is here. So I'm good either way. Okay, so just either get a passport, or if you already have one, get multiple passports that are not all in the same, like, NATO countries or, like, some, like, economic bloc, like the G7, G8. Get, like, diversify your passports. Apparently, I heard from a friend that in 2008, when there was that crash, the rich were not doing that. But apparently, the rich are getting multiple different passports. The rich already have multiple passports, I was telling my friend. But they were like, they didn't have multiple passports. I think that they were projecting a bit. But I was like, the rich already have, like, multiple passports. If anything, you're saying they should get a third one. But, But yeah. So that's my advice to you guys. Get multiple, passports. It's going to be hard, but if America falls, you have somewhere to run. Andar. Bro, who cares about this stuff as long as women or LGBTQ alien doesn't run the country, nothing matters. That's kind of nihilistic. So you're okay with, like, not being the superpower of the world, like, and losing your freedom, like freedom of speech and stuff, and people disappearing, which we got to cover that too. And this is my first stream back, so please bear with me. Please give me some grace. I need to, like, I haven't pulled all these videos up yet. Usually I have like a gazillion tabs, and that's what we go through. But first stream back. First stream fucking back. You found the link? Okay. All right. Let's watch it together. Wait, hold on. Elon Musk, be quiet, small man. You pay a tiny fraction of the cost, and there's no substitute for Starlink. Man, shut the... Like, does he not have anything else to do?
The people
Like,
on this.
he's supposed to be the richest man on earth. Like, and he just, like, I feel like he just is, like, very twiddly with his thumbs, you know? Habib, no Arab. Wait, what? You want the fall? Long live Chairman Mao Zedong. The current CPC is revisionist, though. What do you mean? Elaborate on that part. I'm curious, Habib. That's interesting. I'm Hong Kong Chinese, with a little bit of mix, but like some of my ancestors were from the Pacific Islands, but I do not identify as mainland Chinese or from China. I identify as Hong Kong Chinese. HYZZZ, here you go. Here's the quote from the interview. Okay, Habib, I'm going to read that after we watch this clip together. All right. Let me make this bigger.
I don't know if it's kickbacks or what's going on, but the people, look, I ran on this, and the people want me to find it. And I've had a great help with Elon Musk, who's been terrific.
Bottom line, you say you trust him.
Trust Elon? Oh, he's not gaining anything. In fact, I wonder how he can devote the time to it. He's so into it. But I told him to do that, and I'm going to tell him very soon, like
He's not
maybe
gaining anything?
in 24 hours, to go check the Department of Education. He's going to find the same thing. Then I'm going to go to the military. Let's check.
He's not gaining anything? He receives so much money in government subsidies. It's that was a straight up lie.
Check the military. We're going to find billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud and abuse. And, you know, the people elected me on that. I don't know if it's kickbacks or what's going on, but the people...
That's crazy, man. I mean, it's one thing when Trump does it, you know, but, like, to have Elon do it, like, he didn't fucking get elected. He didn't win the popular vote. Like, that's not democracy. You know what I mean? He's not even, like, working for the government. It's, like, some weird, just, like, side thing that there's, like, a loophole. You know what I mean? I just don't think that that's very democratic, I don't think it follows the law of the land, and it's not congruent with the idea of America. Okay, Habib. Why did you leave the prosperous land of China? It was not prosperous when I left mainland China. Like, it was very dangerous. Hong Kong was very prosperous. Now China is certain areas of China, like cities and stuff, certain regions are more prosperous. But quality control is a problem. Secrecy. There's a lot of issues. A lot of things get done much faster over there just because of the way it's centralized in Beijing. But there's a lot of bad things, like there's no checks and balances, you know? Although I don't even know if the checks and balances are working anymore in America. I left the prosperous land of Hong Kong for college. I came to America for college. Habib, was the high-speed rail and the 84% home ownership rate not adequate? no, it wasn't enough. There's a lot of pros in like living in Hong Kong. I definitely took a very, maybe like 10% quality of life sacrifice, maybe 15. I could go back. My mom is trying to get me to go back. She's like, taxes is 20%. You don't need to, tipping is not a thing there. Like income, there's no sales tax. Income tax is like 15% across the board or some crazy like that. She's like, if you come back with your degrees, like you can make a shit ton of money. Like, I'm like, Mom, I know, but like, I don't want to go back. They're changing the fucking curriculum, even in international schools, like private schools. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't know, man. The social stuff, I can't stand. Like, people disappear. And you can't talk shit now. I used to be able to talk politics, even though it's rare. But last time, people in my community who are back now, who are watching, they know this story. I'm just gonna say it real quick. Last time I was back, politics came up. And it was the first time ever that I had, when I returned to Hong Kong, that my friend told me, hey, you can't talk about stuff like that. Like, if the wrong people hear it and they decide to like report you, like, you can't do that anymore. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's crazy. Cause like the police in Hong Kong have a very good relationship with the public. I was very shocked when I first got to America, the relationship between the cops here and how scary the cops were here. In Hong Kong, like, the cops are like, they don't bother, nobody dies. Like, people like feel at ease when the cops are there. People like the cops, and the cops like the people in general. And that's changed a bit, I'd say, the relationship. And I forgot where my train of thought was going, but it'll come back to me. I was half paying attention to chat, so I lost my train of thought. Losing superpower status means nothing when it's held by permanent third world genocide. You fucking hate Deng Xiaoping? That's what I mean. Isn't Hong Kong part of China? I was born under British rule, so I have multiple passports. So it wasn't part of China, and then it became one of the two special administrative regions. And for those of you who don't know and haven't been taught it because you grew up in America, SARs, like Macau is that, but Macau is, they were given back by the Portuguese, so they have a lot of Portuguese influence there, but they were given back earlier, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but they're more integrated into China. Hong Kong was given back less recently, and technically it was given back sooner than it was agreed upon, but it's very westernized. But every time I go back, it's a little bit less foreigners. Like, it's just, it's sad. Okay, chat. Okay, hold on 1 second. At least your okay, who are your friends from Hong Kong that say they're mainland Chinese? Like, that's not a thing. People from Hong Kong don't say that they're from the mainland. That's not a thing. Even if you're pro-China, they just say I'm Chinese. They wouldn't say they're from the mainland. Like, that's just not what Hong Kongers say. So I don't know if you're just kind of talking shit. XYZZ, he doesn't even need to become president. It's as he's acting as president or has presidential powers already. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Habib, the U.S. is undemocratic. The way it is happening now, I would say it's not acting very democratically. Like it should be. Like, that is our idea, you know? If we wanted to be like a totalitarian, Marxist country, like, then, you know, we would be. But we're not. So for a reason. XYZZZ, but wait until JD Vance becomes president. You'll maybe miss Trump's presidency compared to what he will do. Yo, like, I've heard that from a lot of friends, like how like Trump might not make it through his 4 years of presidency, and we're gonna get Vance. And notice how quiet he is. Like, I've been noticing that he's letting Elon cook, and like when they fall out, like Elon and Trump, because two big egos, eventually that'll happen. I think he's just sitting back and be like, all right, I'm gonna let this cook. I might be president soon, you know. And JD Vance is a little bit nefarious, but like a little bit under the radar, because he's more competent and efficient in his manipulation, political manipulation. Habib, W central planning? No, not. Depends on the level. I think there should be a mix, a little bit like the British. There's a genocide right now. Checks and balances mean nothing. I know. There's like fucking. I know about the Middle East. I know. But I cannot do anything about it. It's very, very sad. Your mom knows what's up. All her kids, except for one, all her kids left for a reason. One came back, but I'm not heavy. Dub Chinese states swinging their clicks and no, that's no. I disagree with that. That's not a dub for the Chinese. The same for the U.S. Anyone associate with Hamas are getting people deported. Yo, we got to talk about that. All right, I'm going to pull that. Before I fucking forget, I'm going to try to pull that up, okay? I got my citizenship like last year, I think. Or the year before that. I don't remember. So this could have been me. You know what I mean? I went to Colombia. And okay, you don't know because you don't know me. But like in IRL, I would fucking have been on that lawn. You know? I would know when to leave, obviously. I'm not stupid. The U.S. disappears people too. Yeah, but not overtly. I'm like, fucking, we're okay with Guantanamo now? Like, what the fuck? At least we used to pretend, the facade, At least to the countries you occupied. Like, hello, Abu Grab and Rock. What? XYZZ, do you think JD Vance is a national threat? Yeah, absolutely. I think he is. Especially to women's rights. Like, I stopped tracking my shit, like, down to the day and shit because of the new laws. But now that I'm in New York, I feel a little safer, But when I was in Georgia, like, that, I was so on top of not tracking anything just in case. Like, the date there, it's like 6 weeks or something. 6 or 8 weeks or something. Like, that's ridiculous. I think it was 6 weeks. Like, most people don't know they're pregnant at 6 weeks because they're like, oh, maybe I was just like sleep deprived, stressed, and like I'm late. Most people don't find out they're pregnant until like at least after 8 weeks. But, that's the South for ya. XYZZ. Idiot who has powers and wants more. I mean, money is power, right? That's what makes the world go around. It's sad, but it's the way it is. Hi, Scrim. Oh my God, Scrim. Welcome back. It's been 10 years. It's been... What does Rose say when she's like on the edge of the Titanic? It's been 87 years. 84 years. Okay, yeah, I stand corrected. It's been 84 years. I'm good. I'm just getting shit done. I'm trying to get settled and get all these fucking boxes out of my living room and kitchen and shoes. Like I just got a lot. And I got to buy a bed frame. I've been hunting for a bed frame and I can't find one. And it's so difficult. Habib. Yorkin Vance is an idiot. Oh, interesting take. Really? Explain, Habib. That's very interesting. I'd like to know why you like Trump but not JD, huh? Habib, New York ain't safe, man. Your mayor is letting ICE disappear. Yo, I fucking hate... Dude, New Yorkers always fucking hate their mayors, man. I fucking hate Eric Adams. He's such a piece of... He's such a POS. Like, we need a new mayor. We are going to get to a clip of that. I think my friend sent me a clip about it's linked to the Columbia University student. He was basically, it was on camera. He was basically trying to confront somebody, I forget off the top of my dome. Like shouting, like, why are you doing this? Like, who is next? I'll pull it up. And he's running for mayor. So a lot of people, younger people, are kind of, paying attention to this guy, actually. And fucking Cuomo is back. Can you believe it? That man has no shame. Like, he doesn't need, he's rich and wealthy. Like, he doesn't need, like, retire, dude. Like, fuck. What does dunce mean, Habib? Scrim. It's nice to see you too. And thank you. That's very generous. Only thing I need help with is for you guys to pay attention to the audio if it ever cuts out, because that's happened midstream before. And to let me know in regards to the sound level of the video playing and my microphone. Because sometimes some people prefer it in different ways. XYZZZ. Habib, you're not a right winger. I know, you're left. You're like extreme left. Not that I'm judging. Like, that's not a value judgment statement. I'm just stating a fact. XYZZ. Trump said, sold Ukraine to Putin. I agree. Wants the minerals in Ukraine. I agree. Wants to conquer Greenland one. Yo, fucking Greenland. I think I watched a video on the history of Greenland. This ain't the first time. Stocks going down. Yeah, the economy. I'm a bit worried. Every week, new tariffs to Canada, blaming Canada for smuggling substances. I know. Mexico, but I think he delayed that. China. It's so fucking stupid. Tariffs inherently are not bad, but you have to be very careful and strategic in the way you use tariffs, because the way they're using now is like not the way to use them. It just starts trade wars. And that's exactly what's going on. Yes, Scrim, I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming for today. It's my first stream back, so. Why tariffs on your neighbor? I'm in America right now. I'm in New York. I'm not over there. Yeah, XYZZ. It's not good for the economy for not only those two countries, but like fucking the entire fucking world. You know what I mean?
school nutrition team striving to improve
Sorry,
the menus
tangent.
and expand scratch cooking would be saddled with time-consuming and costly paperwork created by new government inefficiencies. But for now, we're going to have to wait to see what happens, especially because the Trump administration, at least as of recording, doesn't appear to have commented on all this, except to say that the programs it just canceled, quote, no longer effectuate the goals of the agency. But then, from that in
What the
wild
fuck does that
entertainment,
mean?
legal news, a newly released audio recording shows Jay-Z's former accuser saying he didn't assault her and that she was pressured into suing him. Right, that is the latest bombshell allegation that came from a recent ABC News report because, as you remember,
What?
a lawsuit was filed last year.
Was she
accusing
paid
Jay-Z of
off?
raping a teenage girl alongside Diddy at a party in 2000. And while that lawsuit has since been withdrawn, it's still making headlines because Jay-Z is suing that accuser, identified only as Jane Doe. And now with that, you have Jay-Z's
Yo,
lawyer
okay,
discussing
bad
the
move.
lawsuit and doing an interview on Good Morning America where he shared tapes that allegedly depict her admitting the assault never happened and that her lawyer, Tony Busby, told her to make the claim.
But Jay-Z, was you saying he was definitely there? But he had no part in it, or he was just...
He was there. He was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with any sexual acts towards you. It was strictly
He was the one that kind of pushed me towards going forward with him.
with Jay-Z. Busby did.
Yeah,
Do you know why?
no.
Now with this, for his part, Tony Busby
They got a
denied pressuring
PI?
Jane Doe into making the claim, and he gave a statement to ABC News saying that is a blatant lie that is directly contrary to all the documentary evidence, with him then providing his own recordings where Jane Doe said she never told investigators this.
They say that they have you on tape denying that Jay-Z assaulted you. Is that true?
No. I don't.
This is fucking messy,
Also
man.
denying, saying he forced her to levy the accusation, and Busby also provided a statement to TMZ saying the tape is a fraud. They tormented and harassed and tricked that poor woman and took what she said out of context and secretly recorded her. But there you have Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, saying the tape where she denied it should speak for itself. Now with that, as far as who she
Where was she taped? Was it like because that matters, right? Because there certain states they won't permit it in the court if it's like a one-party consent. Some states are two-party consent to be recorded. Some states you only need one party, so the person recording, to be admissible in court. Okay, I have to fix my lighting. Okay, guys, I think it's kind of dark back there. Maybe I need to get a lamp. Maybe like a tall lamp. Like, what do you guys think? Because this is like the window. There's like there's two windows here. So like during the sun is set, when I started streaming today, it was light out. So like there was a lot of light in the room. But now that it's dark outside, I feel like, I don't know, but would that kind of cause like a backlighting kind of effect? I don't know. I gotta think about that. Let me think about getting all these fucking boxes out of the apartment first, and then we'll worry about a lamp. XYZZ, I didn't know cartels and drug production exists in Canada, and the Canadian government allows that to flow to the U.S. Thanks to Mr. Trump for this information. You didn't know? Are you being facetious? Habib, tariffs inherently contradict the reason the U.S. exploit the developing world for cheap imports for the threat to keep them placated while being literal wage slaves. I think that's what they thought they were doing, Habib. But, like, it's changed now because, like, it's, like, the export of jobs has the short-term gains and vision of American companies versus long-term planning of, let's say, China. Their fucking goal is to beat U.S. and be the superpower of the world. And so the CCP, Beijing, I'm just going to say Beijing because that's what people call it over there. Beijing is basically thinking long fucking term. So when we outsource labor, cheap labor over there, initially, like we got all the gains, companies and everything. But they were like, all right, give us all the jobs. We're gonna like get fucking rich where everything is made in China. And so you have to buy from us and we are gonna build our country up. So I think people didn't think long term here. So we got to be careful. Certified. Hi. How are you? Missed you. Thank you, thank you. My hair looks nice. Shit, BRB. I did nothing to my hair. I actually need to go get my hair done, but I'm too busy right now. I can't get my hair done until like maybe next month. Like before my apartment warming party, I'll get my hair done. But I guess I did kind of like did a little bit of a blowout. I don't know. My hair's just longer since you've seen me last. Maybe that's why.
Those two people on the initial tape were private investigators who were associated with Jay-Z. And when ABC News asked if Jane Doe had been coerced into a denial, Jay-Z's lawyer said that was not the case and that she was not coerced or threatened and voluntarily spoke to them.
What do you?
Jay-Z's defamation suit
I'm just
Jane
wearing
Doe
like.
that her lawyers were, quote, soullessly motivated by greed and abject disregard of the truth and the most fundamental precepts of human decency. And this is notably Busby and his firm are also named as defendants in the suit. You know, with all this, it's worth noting that in a court filing earlier this month, Jane Doe said, quote, although I ultimately chose not to pursue them, I stand by my claims in the New York action and believe that I had a meritorious claim against Jay-Z. So, you know, just in the past week and a half, there's been a ton of back and forth here. Busby also previously said that quotes attributed to Jane Doe in the defamation suit against her were fabricated or that investigators spoke to someone who was not, in fact, Jane Doe. Right, but whichever way this goes, this whole situation right here is actually very key. Right, because while you might consider this specific case kind of just a drop in the bucket, considering that there are dozens of other lawsuits.
Hold on, certified.
As a federal indictment that he's pled not guilty to. The claims against Busby specifically here are really notable because he's the lawyer behind a ton of the major lawsuits against it. Right? He is a main character in the case at large. Right? And so we're going to have to wait to see where this defamation case goes because it could likely impact or influence other cases or, at the very least, how people perceive those cases. But of course, in the meantime, I'd love to know your thoughts on the situation. But then, from that next up, in interesting business news, have you ever wondered exactly how much
You're good,
money
certified.
Mr. Beast is making? Because if you have, well,
oh my God.
Bloomberg and The Verge just obtained pitch documents that were sent to potential investors that detail some of that, as well as where all his business.
I'm so sick of Mr. Beast.
Because on top of his YouTube and media empire, he's things like his Feastables chocolate bars, Lunchly, and he owns the platform ViewStats. Where he clearly wants to grow, as last week we learned that he was planning an investment round that could value his company at $5 billion. As for where things are right now, you have Bloomberg reporting that Feastables is currently the moneymaker, generating sales of around $250 million with a profit of over $20 million last year. And this notably, as
that's crazy. Profit?
Which include his YouTube channel and Amazon series. Right, its sales were comparable to Feastables, but it is said to have lost around $80 million.
80 million?
Noting that it's not too surprising that
well, because he fucking did this bullshit. He pulled some bullshit, and people are like, I'm done. Enough is enough. He completely missed the point of fucking, what's that famous show on Netflix? What's that show? Can somebody, Off Top Dome, I did not watch it. So Off Top Dome, Squid Games. He learned nothing. This is the exact realization of it into reality. Like, this is crazy. And there's just something weird about Mr. Beast. I don't know. With all the drama, like, I don't know. I'm not the type of, if you're a billionaire, yeah, you probably had to fuck people over. But I think if you're a multimillionaire, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad person. You could just be really good at business. But oftentimes people who get rich as millionaires that are like in the public eye, something shady's going on. And certified, yes, I'm usually I either don't wear anything because my eyes aren't that bad. But sometimes when I stream, I do wear my contacts, but I can't find my normal contacts. So I think like a couple weeks ago, I couldn't find any contacts. So I was fucking blind. I was walking around New York City blind. Like, not like crazy blind, because like I can drive without glasses, though I prefer to drive with glasses on. Fuck, I gotta go to the DMV. And I need to register to vote because it's closed primaries here and it's open primaries in Georgia. So I gotta see what I mean about being busy and getting shit. Need to take care of my shit so that I could do this. And then I got a fucking board meeting. Oh my God. Next week. Ugh. Okay. All right. I'm not gonna burden you guys. But yeah, so I can't find my fucking normal contacts. It's in here somewhere. At least I have something so that I can see when I'm like out and about. XYZZ, I don't like Mr. Beast. I don't know if I'm the only one, but yeah. Nah, you're not the only one. I think a lot of people, ever since all of his like drama, I guess, came to light, a lot of people, I mean, that's why he lost like what, $80 million, you know? Certified garbage. I feel like Mr. Beast is a villain. Sus dude. He gives off sus vibes. I agree, certified. Lol, I was wearing old ass contacts. They cut my eyeballs. I was in pain for days. What the fuck? Why would you do that? Like, did you put them back in? Were they dailies? I don't understand. Monthlies? I don't understand. You were, of course, that explains it.
Beast might lose money because on average his videos cost between $3 to $4 million. And making
Scratched cornea.
YouTube,
Ouch.
it's not the easiest thing, which is why
You quit
Amazon
because because of contacts?
business without having to foot a massive bill entirely on his own. Even with that Amazon show, the show reportedly went over budget and the first season lost him money, which is something they previously spoke about, but he hopes that the next seasons will be different.
I lost a ton of money filming the show, so that came out of my pocket.
Really?
Yeah, we spent way too much money on it. I lost tens of millions of dollars on that show.
That was weird. The way he said that, guys. Isn't that fucking like his face?
Really? Yeah, we spent way too much money on it.
Like what is this? I don't know, man. I'm feel like I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be ableist here. Maybe he's on the spectrum a bit. But if he's not on the spectrum, like, he kind of gives off psychopath vibes or sociopathic vibes. Sociopathy vibes.
I lost tens of millions of dollars on that show. Really? Yeah. I'm an idiot. It was about making season 1 as good as possible.
Which I will say, after learning that, it made the scene where if you flip a coin, you double. I don't care if this is a spoiler, but there's a moment in the show where one of the final contestants can risk their own elimination, but if they flip a coin and they call it right, it doubles the prize pool from $5 to $10 million. And at first, when it doubled from $5 to $10 million and Jimmy dropped to his knees, I was like, oh, he's acting. But now I'm not sure. You know, all of that is to say, it's not surprising that there's a big focus.
That's a lot of fucking money, and that's a lot of fucking risk.
There's also seeing The Verge adding that Mr. Beast's commerce division saw a net sales increase of 160% from 2023, and it's projected to see a 100% increase this year. And all of this, as a spokesperson told the outlet that Beast Industries is raising money and using, quote, the unique reach of the Mr. Beast platform to build big, sustainable, revenue-generating businesses. And that was also echoed by Bloomberg's report, which said that it's clear that the entertainment wing of the company is increasingly a means of selling other products, with them noting that Beast Industries is looking to expand into video games, drinks, and wellness. With the outlet then also talking to Jeffrey Rosenthal, who was hired last year to lead the company, and said, we have an unprecedented platform in terms of reach and fandom. We have the opportunity to launch multiple businesses on the backs of that center of reach and distribution. With them then also revealing, and this was a big thing, that he plans to cut $100 million in costs this year to turn the company into a profitable business, and estimating they'll get to $300 million in profits by 2026. But also,
AKA fire people.
They're not the only reason that Mr. Beast was making headlines today, because as it turns out, he and other major creators are leading an upfronts event focused on just creators. Which, you know, if you're not super familiar, the upfronts are when all the major TV networks and streaming services, they give these massive, often star-studded presentations on their upcoming content schedule to advertisers to woo them and secure ad deals. And YouTube's also been doing their own presentation of the upfronts in recent years, but now creators are reportedly hosting one of their own, with a Hollywood Reporter reporting that Mr. Beast, Dude Perfect, Ryan Trahan, and more will have an event to lure marketing dollars from traditional
What? Who are those other guys?
This is reportedly the firm Spotter is behind the event, which will be held at the end of the month in front of the marketing leaders of over 150 major brands. With the president of Spotter also saying, for decades, advertisers were about owning hit shows, moments, and attention across broadcast and cable. But then adding, today, the landscape has fundamentally shifted. To capture cultural moments and audience engagement, brands must align with creators who now command the largest and most engaged audiences across digital platforms. You know, even though this event is separate from YouTube's own upfront, you have a deadline saying that this is not a direct competitor to that presentation, as they both ultimately want increased advertising on YouTube. And so ultimately, it's all very, very big news in the space, and it will just continue. I'm a nerd when it comes to this stuff. Seeing how the industry at hand and those around it have evolved over the last 2 decades, it's been a wild, wild ride. And then we'll get to more news in just a moment. But, you know, first, let's be real. You know, what's the first thing we notice about people? Get your mind out of ordered its staff to shred and burn classified documents. Right?
Okay. Oh my fuck. We gotta talk about USAID. Ugh. Do we gotta talk about USAID? I feel like it's kind of like it's gonna get me animated, and I need to do a little bit more research into it if I'm gonna be honest and put my opinions out there in the ether. But from what I've been trying to keep up with, like the macro stories, it's not good. It's not fucking good. It erodes the soft power of the United States of America around the world. China, and it's allowing China to swoop in. That's not fucking good, man. That's not good. We don't want that. Mm-mm.
This, according to NBC, which obtained an internal email sent by the agency's acting executive secretary, Erica Carr, to an unknown number of employees, with her reportedly thanking workers for their, quote, assistance in clearing our classified safes and personnel documents, and then adding, shred as many documents first and reserve the burn bags for when the shredder becomes unavailable or needs a break. With all of this reportedly set to take place Tuesday. Now, to be clear, right, destroying classified documents isn't necessarily bad or illegal, but it can be done during some circumstances, especially emergencies, such as when an embassy is under attack. But seemingly, the only people attacking USAID right now are Elon Musk and his bureaucrats, which persuaded several people familiar with the normal procedure telling NBC this is not that. And notably, with this, you have the plaintiffs in the suit against Trump's effort to dismantle USAID filing an emergency motion yesterday afternoon seeking to stop the document destruction, with them explaining that depending on which documents get destroyed, it could make it extraordinarily difficult, if not impossible, to rebuild programs if their lawsuit succeeds. So
Dude, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, what if they shred some shit that is so important and they cannot get it back? They should have digitized it, honestly. It's 2025. But still, knowing the government, all shit ain't digitized, you know? Like, even, like, the nuclear, like, when shit was popping off in the Middle East, like almost popping off. People were talking about the nuclear program and shit, and we were watching videos, streaming back then, how like the US nuclear system is like really old, and they justify it because then it's all manual and you can't hack into it, but it's fucking like old tech, man. Like, it's really bad. Like, you can make things manual, but like update it.
That means that even if the courts forced Trump to reinstate the agency's programs, over 80% of which he's reportedly ended, he might literally be unable to. With the plaintiffs alleging that Carr's email suggests a rapid destruction of agency records on a large scale, which both violates federal record-keeping law and could destroy evidence in their case. But then, later on Tuesday, both parties released a joint statement report saying that the government will not destroy additional documents stored in the USAID offices in the Ronald Reagan building without affording notice to plaintiffs and an opportunity to raise the issue with the court. And so hopefully we'll find out exactly which documents were destroyed, but for the moment, at least, the shredder is said to have been turned off. Though this is, you also had one administration official claiming that the material was mostly old courtesy content given to USAID by other agencies. That
how can we trust their word?
That original copies are still on the computer systems. But for now, we'll have to wait to see how this actually shakes out. But then, moving on from that, we need to talk about how this alternative medical facility is now being accused of putting money over their patient safety after a little boy died on their watch.
Is anybody surprised? Is anybody fucking surprised? Welcome back, Certified. Is anyone surprised? Honestly.
So this is Thomas Cooper. He's a 5-year-old boy from Michigan
no.
with ADHD and sleep apnea. And to treat those conditions, his parents were taking him to the Oxford
He looks
Center,
mixed,
which is an alternative
too.
medicine facility in a suburb of Detroit with a hyperbaric chamber, which you know is this pressurized tube-like chamber that delivers 100% oxygen to the patient inside. And that is roughly 5 times the amount of oxygen that's found in plain old air, which makes the chamber highly combustible. And the FDA has approved hyperbaric therapy for conditions like carbon monoxide poisoning, decompression sickness, and scuba divers, and even for some wounds and burns. But also, in recent years, spas and wellness centers have started promoting hyperbaric oxygen therapy as a treatment for a bunch of other health issues. And in Oxford Center's case, they were reportedly advertising it as a treatment for more than 100 conditions, including
Did they give him too much
Alzheimer's,
air?
dyslexia, and cancer.
I mean, not
despite the
air,
FDA not
oxygen.
recognizing hyperbaric therapy for any of those conditions. You know, now the reason we're talking about this today is that Thomas was in the chamber on January 31st when a single spark reportedly caused the whole chamber to go up in flames, killing Thomas within seconds. His mother then reportedly trying
Oh
to
my
kindle the fire.
god! Oh my god! What the fuck? 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 What the fu I don't know if I can continue with this story. Like, I don't know if I can sleep tonight. Your baby boy that you grew in your tummy and gave birth to, you were just trying to heal him and you can't do anything about him and save him, and you watch him burn alive in front of your eyes because of incompetence, and there's no way to save him, and he's screaming and writhing in pain, and he's never got a chance at life. Like, what the fuck? I'm so triggered. I am so triggered. And if you're not triggered, you have no heart.
Significant burns on her arm, and that was done during a rescue attempt to try to get her child out of the burning flame. She was trying and trying to get him out and was unsuccessful. The men going on to say that the family is planning on suing to make sure that this doesn't happen again and that somebody else doesn't get hurt. Now, with all this, following the explosion and Thomas's death, the location of the Oxford Center was shut down, and the authorities began investigating exactly how this happened, which has now led to 4 arrests this week, including the Oxford Center founder and CEO, Tamala Peterson. And arrested along Peterson, you had her primary management assistant, Gary Market, and the company's safety manager, Jeffrey Mosteller. Right, and all 3 of these people got slapped with a second-degree murder charge, and the 4th person was charged with involuntary manslaughter and intentionally placing false information in medical records. But then yesterday, the 4 being arraigned, and Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel giving a scathing news conference. A news conference where she revealed that Thomas's death was preventable, saying the investigation reached, quote, some horrifying and simple conclusions. Right, according to Nessel, the Oxford Center failed to perform daily maintenance checks or even yearly inspections of the equipment. They didn't have a doctor or safety supervisor.
Isn't this what happened in that rocket that exploded in America? Like, it's worse than that. Like, because it's a child and it's a mother watching her child fucking die and incinerated alive. But like, I heard the audio. Was it the Challenger? What the fuck? There was something to do with the oxygen or whatever the fuck, and there was a spark and the whole thing just fucking like inferno and killed them. And they released the audio, and you hear a guy saying, yo, it's getting really bad, like something's going on, like help, and then it just fucking cuts off, and like, you know, it's giving that.
On site, and they didn't have a license.
Certified. I watched some videos of police sadly dying. It's insane hearing someone dying, like shooting and stuff. So sad. Yeah.
Which, as we saw NBC News report, is essential to protect patients and equipment from static electricity, which can cause ignition while in the chamber. With Nessel then also saying the Oxford Center routinely operated sensitive and lethally dangerous hyperbaric chambers beyond their expected service lifetime and in complete disregard of vital safety measures and practices considered essential by medical and technical professionals. They're then going on to accuse the Oxford Center of prioritizing their own wallets over patient care and safety, saying this was an unscrupulous business operating powerful machines beyond their manufacturer's intended term of use on children's bodies over and over again to provide unaccredited and debunked so-called treatments, chiefly because it brought cash into the door. Now, with all this, as far as what's next, 3 of the 4 defendants entered a mute plea yesterday, meaning they remain silent on the charges, which registers in the court as a not guilty plea. And then as far as number 4, that was Jeffrey Mosteller, whose attorney claims he works at a different Oxford Center location, not the one where Thomas died. So he's more directly pleading not guilty. But with that, it is worth noting that the other location for the Oxford Center is also under investigation. Now, as far as the other side
rightfully
of this,
so.
Oxford Center itself hasn't
Can we stop showing his fucking face? I can't.
Before Nessel's press conference saying the timing of the
like, you guys aren't, I guess you guys are seeing it on a big screen, but I'm seeing on 2 fucking screens, and it's so fucking triggering. What the fuck? Oh no, okay, I gotta fix my mic. Give me a second.
Questions about how this occurred, yet the Attorney General's office proceeded to pursue charges without those answers. You know, overall, just a horrific situation. It's going to be very interesting to watch how this plays out. And in the meantime, of course, I'd love to know your thoughts on it. But then, next up in big international news, we need to talk about the situation in Serbia. Because months-long mass protests across the country, they've seemingly only gained momentum. Right? And the government that they're protesting against, it's one with close ties to the Trump administration. And in fact, it's a government that's even cited the American president's own actions as justification for a growing crackdown on civil society. But you know, with that, starting with the protests, they got going back in November after 14 people were killed by the collapse of a concrete canopy at a railway station, with another woman dying weeks later from her injuries. With protests then quickly springing up as people blamed the tragedy on shoddy work by contractors tied to corrupt officials. And since then, they've been taking place almost every single day, becoming the biggest challenge yet to President Alexander Vucic's decade-long grip on power. With last week, for example, even opposition MPs participating by setting off flares and smoke bombs in
What the fuck? This is what happens. This is where we're heading. If we don't follow civility and let people like Marjorie Taylor Greene just like, scream and not follow decorum. Like, there's a certain level. Like, I'm not like the type of person who's like, you always gotta follow tradition and shit. But like, when you're supposed to be a government and know what the fuck you're doing, even though we know that's not always the case, like, there are rules for a reason. And there are traditions for a reason. Because, like, we can't turn into, like, this. Like, this is chaos. Like, this, like... This is fucking chaos.
Parliament. And this week, we saw several hundred protesters blocking Serbia's public television station building in the capital, blaming the broadcaster for biased reporting and siding with the government during the demonstration. Right, and all of this ahead of a major rally that's scheduled for March 15th.
I also don't like Serbia because Djokovic is from Serbia.
To quash dissent, going from blaming foreign-funded NGOs for the country's problems to actually investigating and raiding them. And
Bonus
here,
points if you know who that is.
The police officers, many of them armed, to raid the offices of at least 4 organizations, with them notably conducting the raids without warrants, and perhaps even more notably than that, justifying the action by referring to the Trump administration's dismantling of USAID, as well as its denouncement by Elon Musk as a criminal organization, with the prosecutor who ordered the raids claiming there was concern that recipients of American grants were involved in money laundering since they had used funds tainted by what Musk had said was criminal activity. And Vucic himself, of course, has grabbed onto that narrative as well. The saying, for example, a Serbian journalist recently trying to ask him about reports linking his son to organized crime groups, and then the president responding by accusing the reporter of working for criminal organizations and asking her, how much money have you received from USAID? And with that, again, the targets of the raid so far have only been those groups that the government has accused of orchestrating the student-led protests, not just any that received American money. With one of them, for example, by the name of Civic Initiatives, reportedly providing legal aid to detain student protesters. They reportedly previously received around 10% of its funding from USAID, and it surrendered 1,300 pages of documents as well as thumb drives containing confidential personal information about its staff and finances. So there's also saying the executive director telling the New York Times they are just using what Trump is doing in America against all the people they want to frighten here in Serbia, and adding that President Vucic sees the most powerful country in the world acting like this.
Yeah, certified. I was like, a little extreme.
This has been an analyst at the Center for Research, Transparency, and Accountability. Another one of the rated organizations said there used to be red lines beyond which Vucic would not go, but when the U.S. government started demonizing USAID, Vucic decided he can do whatever he wants. Now, with all that said, one of the most wild things about all this is that, the biggest beneficiaries of American aid money in Serbia is actually the Serbian government itself. In fact, the prosecutor who is investigating the raided NGOs for money laundering, USAID paid for a trip she took to Italy last year to study the Italian justice system. And beyond that, more than 90% of American aid money to Serbia has gone to government and state-affiliated institutions, including, for example, the National Parliament, the website of which previously displayed the USAID logo and acknowledged that its development was made possible by the support of the American people through the agency. Though, of course, not long after Trump came into office, that's now gone. But, notably, despite all that, you have many saying that the Serbian government's actually only growing closer to the U.S. Right? His son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is building a Trump-branded luxury hotel in the capital. Richard Grenell, a U.S. special envoy under Trump, he's been said to have close, almost friendly relations with Vucic, and Donald Trump Jr. actually met with Vucic this week for the second time in the...
Sorry, I just had to pause because I finished watching Succession, and I feel like Donald Trump Jr. is literally like the first kid. He's giving the actor the first kid, the overcompensation, like the living up to the, the empire, blah, 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 like he's giving that. Okay.
In the past year, with Vucic Vucic saying in an Instagram post that the talk showed a commitment to the strengthening bilateral relations and working together to solve global challenges. Really, with all that aside, a lot of this goes to show just how many ways a Trump presidency is having an impact.
Well, like I said, soft power around the world is important.
Hungary and Slovakia, whose leaders are both enthusiastic supporters of Trump, they've also taken advantage of the dismantling of USAID to go after opposition. And this notably, even though the agency actually ended most of its funding in both countries after they joined the EU in 2004. In any case, you still had Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban last week, for example, accusing foreign-funded groups of trying to topple his government and vow to get rid of them. With him cheering what he said was Trump's effort to drive a stake through the heart of the monster financed by USAID to serve the liberal globalist empire. For now, we'll have to wait to see generally what happens in several of these countries, but also specifically with the protests in Serbia. And then I'll get to more news with you in just a moment. But first, do you ever feel like you're being watched online? Like you search for something once and then suddenly ads for it are popping up everywhere? Like, it gets creepy. Well, the truth is, there's actually ended most of its funding in both countries after they joined the EU.
What the fuck just happened? A fucking glitch in the Matrix?
Who helps you catch DeFranco and use code DeFranco. New mission, spectrophotometer for the history of the universe, epoch of reionization, and ISIS Explorer. Also, different ISIS. Past the name, which I'm going to be...
That's very unfortunately named.
calling SphereX for short. This thing's fucking awesome, and I want to tell you about it. Because NASA has been working on this bad boy for about a decade, pouring $500 million into it, and it finally launched yesterday. And as far as what it actually is, NASA itself has dubbed it the Cone of Fame and the Gorgeous Jewel, but to be clear, it's a space telescope. Not just any space telescope. It is different than the ones we have in orbit right now. Because the two big ones, Hubble and Webb, they're really great at zooming in really close on particular corners of the universe and taking high-resolution photos. But as NASA explains, some questions like how much light do all the galaxies in the universe collectively emit can only be answered by looking at the big picture, which is what SphereX is designed to do, with the agency planning to photograph out the entire celestial sky 4 times over 2 years in 102 infrared colors, more than any other mission before, with it hopefully capturing more than 450 million galaxies in one humongous 3-dimensional map. So then, if
that's crazy.
Scientific interest, it can direct the more targeted telescopes to that spot. And then, together, they'll look to answer questions about the history of our universe, particularly what happened in the first billionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a second after the Big Bang, which scientists believe is when the universe exploded outward by a trillion-fold in a process known as cosmic inflation. Why or how it expanded outward, assuming
isn't it slowing down?
Bedeviled, befuddled, and even confounded our awesome smart nerds for some 40 or 50 years now. And mapping out the distribution of galaxies throughout the observable universe, it could help them trace the history and, therefore, the physics responsible for it. Also, if you're someone that's been into the nerdier segments of this show, you'll be happy to learn that this mission could help resolve the Hubble tension, which, we did a deep dive on.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
It's the debate about exactly how fast the universe is expanding. And
okay, guys, do not go down this rabbit hole. I went down this rabbit hole, and you do not want to go down this rabbit hole. I am telling you, when you go down certain rabbit holes on YouTube, it's okay. You can dig yourself out easily. But it took me a minute to get myself out of this rabbit hole. So I'm telling you, just be careful if you look into this. Certified. Trump wouldn't win if the Dems ran a better candidate than Kamala. Shit, Bernie would be better. Yeah, absolutely. But they would never let Bernie, become president. They'd rather lose to Donald Trump before they watch Bernie win. Universe nerdy research.
Getting more precise measurements of stars and galaxies.
We're gonna have a couple of Bernie
and then lastly, here I'll say
news
that
to watch.
Will study the origin of water and other organic materials in the Milky Way galaxy, which could help scientists figure out how life evolved on Earth. Or, as the acting director of the Astrophysics Division at NASA put it, it's going to answer a fundamental question. How did we get here? If we can figure that out, then maybe we can find clues about where to look for life elsewhere in our galaxy. With NASA saying that SphereX will search for the basic building blocks of life, such as water and carbon dioxide and the interstellar clouds of gas and dust where stars and planets form. Right? So with all this, after several postponements, the telescope finally launched atop a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California last night.
3, 2, 1, ignition.
Imagine if this shit exploded.
Also, another NASA mission hitching a ride with that one known as Punch, which brings us back to the naming of it all. Polarimeter to unify the corona and heliosphere. And it's sending up 4 satellites that are designed to get overlapping views of the sun, creating a 3-dimensional picture of its corona as it transforms into solar wind and blows throughout the solar system.
Yeah, but the thing is with Bernie, even though he's the same age as Trump, basically, he's still fucking coherent. You know what I mean? Well, what a word?
But the big thing here is the sexy-ass telescope. Because with this growing fleet of
Sexy-ass
insanely powerful space
telescope.
telescopes,
The
including
fuck?
Hubble, Webb, and now SphereX, showing us more of our universe than we've ever seen before, we're bound to witness mind-blowing discoveries during our lifetimes. But then, next up from that, let me give you your...
Nope, Philip DeFranco. That's DEI. Nope. Launching a fucking cone into space. First, it's a flat Earth, okay? So you can't. What you were showing was an erroneous fucking animation, and it's fucking DEI. We can't do that. The government needs to shut this shit down. Okay. All right. What are we gonna get to next? Okay, so hold on. Let me see if we have enough time. Let's see. Do you want to watch Bernie stuff first, or do we want to watch Gavin Newsom? Because I heard he said some shit about, like, was it trans or gay or something? I don't know. Fuck.
He's like,
let's just
no,
watch
Dad,
it.
What time's Charlie gonna be here? What time? And I'm like, dude, you're in school tomorrow. He's 13. He's like, no. This morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, he literally.
Yes, I moved to New York.
Did you let him take off school?
No,
Also, an open admission that your 13-year-old is a major Charlie Kirk fan is literally an abdication of responsibility as a parent. You have failed as a parent.
I agree. You have fucking failed as a parent.
They're just like, and
He's supposed to be a fucking Democrat. And he used to be married to, was it Kimberly Guilfoyle? Wasn't he? I think he's a secret Republican.
They think they can message their way out of this. They think if they have more charismatic podcasts and podcasters, or if the elected representatives themselves become the podcasters, this will be fine. This will be enough. That's not going to happen. It's very, very frustrating to watch.
He's like, no, Dad. What time's Charlie gonna be here? What time?
This is so weird.
He's 13. He's like, no. This morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, he literally would not leave the house.
Did you let him take off school?
No,
Also,
this is weird. Why is Gavin Newsom glazing fucking Charlie Kirk? Like, that's so weird. I think he's trying to pivot to run as president to, like, appeal to both sides. Ugh. Gross.
Straight from front of the show, Shelby Talcott of Semaphore, that the education department had taken its first giant leap towards...
Okay, we watched a bit of that, so we can come back to this. We're gonna watch Sagar confront the White House.
And certainly one of those.
We'll see the Stroms.
The House of Representatives managing.
It's so dark in here.
A spending bill, one of those famous continuing.
Let me see if I can turn on some lights.
Actually, I should say, by a margin of 217 to 213, they pulled one Democrat over, and one Republican was a no vote. I will let you guess who it was. It was Thomas Massie. You probably knew that, though, because if you saw Sagar at the White House yesterday, he got in a question about some of the attacks from Chris LaCivita, Trump's former campaign manager, and Trump himself on Thomas Massie. This was before that continuing resolution actually ended up passing. Massie held firm. He did not negotiate with Republican leadership. So let's take a listen to how the White House responded.
President Trump came out today in a primary challenge against Congressman Thomas Massie. Congressman Massie's been a supporter of DOGE. He's been a supporter of Make America Healthy Again. What kind of message is this White House sending against a congressman who's sticking up for principles that he's long held in the chamber and voting against continuing resolution and spending?
I think the president has made it very clear that he believes it's critical for conservatives and Republicans, and frankly all members of Congress, to get behind this continuing resolution to keep the government funded. The president wants to continue the momentum that he has built over the last 51 days. In order to keep the government funded, we got to keep moving with these deportations, and he believes that everybody needs to get on board with this bill.
Okay, well, everybody did not get on board with the bill, but almost everybody did. The question then is kicked to the Senate, which has until Friday to avert a government shutdown. The deal here is to kick funding to September, kick the funding battle to September. And what Donald Trump actually did was bring in members of the House Freedom Caucus like Chip Roy to the early stages of this negotiation. And so Roy made the pitch to other Freedom Caucus members, and Massey isn't a Freedom Caucus member, he's just adjacent to the Freedom Caucus. It's all very confusing, but what Chip Roy was arguing is that let DOJ find all kinds of easy sort of budget
Certified. I'm feeling
vetoes.
that Tulsi VP Vance might run pres in 2029.
Give DOJ the space over the next several months to find cuts. And then, have this fight over adding to the national debt.
Who knows with Tulsi?
When there's more political capital.
She goes where the money is.
Found all of this. You will have avoided the shutdown. We can put the next element up on the screen. J.D. Vance's message, when he's become a big, not entirely unexpected because he just came out of the Senate, but he's been a big go-between from the White House to Capitol Hill. And what he was saying is, the House Republicans will take the blame if it comes to a shutdown. Sort of amusing because that's always been something the Freedom Caucus guys have said, sure, we would love to take the blame for a shutdown. And it's now also
I feel like Tulsi's
what Democrats
a snake.
are dealing with because they now have the ball in their court. You can put the next element up on the screen. This is Jake Sherman on the margin. We mentioned this earlier. It was 217 and 213. And Jared Golden, he's of Maine, was the only Democrat who voted yes. Thomas Massey obviously was the only Republican who voted no. So, Crystal, now this is maybe the first shutdown battle I can remember where it did really, I think it does really look to the public like the ball is in the Democrats' court, and it's a fascinating dynamic because a lot of Republicans in their own resistance era to Obama and Biden have said there's political capital in going to the brink of a shutdown or actually going through with a short shutdown itself. And now we're seeing some demands on that for Democrats to play brinksmanship with a potential.
Yeah, they're not gonna though.
Yeah,
The Dems are so bad at politics.
Hate government and Democrats, in theory, like government. So it creates, more ideological tensions for Democrats than it does for Republicans. But I can tell you, the base of the Democratic Party, liberals, lefties, whoever, they want their leaders to push to the brink on this. And I'll tell you why. I mean, what you explained is exactly right. The Republicans are pitching this, and I think accurately so. It's basically a free license for DOJ to do what it wants to do. And what Democrat, outside of John Fetterman, wants to...
You should subscribe. Then certified, then you would not have any ads and you wouldn't miss anything. Use your Prime subscription. It's free. I mean, I have to run ads, If you respond to this, did you move to NYC? I want to go. I've never been there. Yes, definitely come here. It's my favorite place in the world. It's home. Where are you coming from again, certified? I haven't streamed in 84 years, so bear with me. And yes, I did move here. I mean, I have been saying that I'm coming back to New York for like years. It's just like now it's like it's happened. It's happened, Florida. Okay. There's it's a small community, but that community comes back and I try to remember where everyone's from or where they're tuning in from. It's hard, especially when you take time off and you're not thinking about streaming and people's handles, Twitch handles. It's hard. Is Pensacola like northern Florida? Or I don't know. Florida's huge. You should, but I'm broke right now. You'd be surprised if you like did like a roommate in like Bushwick or something situation and you have a job, or you could make it here. It's just a matter if you like want to hustle and if you like the city and like the lifestyle. Like it really just like you have to love New York to like be able to stay here long term. Um yeah, there's like a saying, people who live in New York, it's the rich, the poor, the stupid, and the young. So I don't know how accurate or if I agree with that saying or not, but it's a thing. Northwest, interesting.
Wants to give a green light to this slash and burn destruction of
You
the
loved
federal
Atlanta?
government,
I
including Social
hated
Security, including
Atlanta.
Veterans Affairs, including the Department of
Fucking
Education,
hated it.
etc. And so
Imagine
that's
that
the way
like
Hakeem
multiplied by a
Jeffries, who
million.
was, again, an incredibly weak leader, was able to hold together all of
Wait,
his
guys,
advocacy for
should I
Jared Golden.
certified?
Basically like,
Certified.
you vote for this,
I need you.
you are co-signing Doge. That's
Should
what
I
you're doing.
accept
And
Mark
Party,
Tony
very
Soprano
united
who wants
against
to collaborate?
Elon and the attack.
He wants to collaborate, but dude, this literally my first stream back. I can't figure out audio for shit. And I'm not trying to have like a debate bro Palestine Israel thing right now. Hi. Hi IASLPH. Your shy guy wants to collab. He's shy guy. Okay. What does he wanna collab about? What does he like to talk about? I'm down to collab. To talk. This is my first stream back though. I haven't been streaming in a while because I've moved. So if there's audio problems, I'm gonna have to dip out. So just let your friend know. Alright. Open stream together. You'll help with the audio.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
It works. She can hear me, at least. Can you hear me? Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, that's perfect. So anyways.
I can't see you though.
Sorry?
I can't see you.
Oh, okay, I turned my cam. Okay,
Okay, I'm just figuring out camera.
Okay, I have
what is that?
My current parents is kind of debatable because of a certain situation that you can see me though, right?
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out. I've been moving, so I haven't been streaming in a while, so give me a second. This is my first stream back, literally. So just give me a second.
And maybe I'm like destroying everything you planned.
No, it's just unexpected. You're just gonna have to bear with me with the tech stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Fuck, I gotta set up the fucking camera.
I mean, I can see you though, like on your stream, so you don't have to do that though. Like, that's,
Yeah, but eventually, if I want to keep collabing with people, like, I'm gonna have
sure,
to.
Yeah. You know.
Maybe I'll do it later.
Understand.
Oh, there. It worked.
There it is. So about my current visual appearance, the glasses and hat. Because of a certain situation, so let's just move past that.
Okay.
Already. So, anyways, actually, you were selected because I was trying for over 2 hours to do this to another girl, and
What the
nobody picked
fuck?
up. Okay, do this when I mean this feature, this knock feature.
Is it a new feature
And
since I've been gone?
I mean, some months ago, some. I mean, I said selected, but it kind of sounds weird. Picked, I guess. I don't mean.
Why?
It was random, all right.
Why?
Why? I mean, because nobody else would answer me. For 2 hours, I tried doing this, and nobody answered. I tried with the girls, right? Of course.
Why?
Nobody answered, and well, because they always say, "Well, I don't know this person. I don't feel comfortable," and sure, understandable, I guess, but right. But in the end of the day, it's a Twitch call, right? What's so?
Okay. You're doing fine.
You know. But then suddenly, a girl picked up, Indian girl. Not that matters, of course, but like she picked up, and I couldn't hear her. So I spent 2 hours, and then it doesn't work. So I was supposed to, just give up. I didn't give up.
2 hours?
And yeah,
Bro.
2 hours trying this, being rejected for 2 hours.
No, I mean like, her audio didn't work, and that's why?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what I was afraid of. I didn't know if my audio was going to work or not.
Well, you did it, though, so,
Got lucky, I guess.
So, technically, we're collabing right now.
Oh no. Are you going to do some bullshit and get me banned?
What? No. I was just, like, stretching myself,
Okay, cause I was like, I'm gonna end the call like right now, cause if you.
No. I was just stretching myself, cause I have the tendency of like, I like to walk as I talk, so I just like get up and walk and talk.
Who is that in your background? Who is that?
Long story. It's another guy that I watch, and in his background's like one of his viewers, and it's cringe. Okay, let's not talk about this. But
okay, what do you talk? What one of your chatters are telling me to ask you about freezing time?
I don't think that's a good idea. It's a long story. I was just like, okay, maybe I should tell this one more time and get this over with. So, I told them something about a fantasy that I had as a teenager, right?
Okay,
They said I'm weird for that, but you know what I mean?
Is it sexual?
Well, technically, yes, but it's not weird because I was a teenager. It was like, but you know what? Let's not do this. Let's just like talk about something else. You know what I mean? So what do you stream about usually?
I stream about politics, usually.
Politics? Wow, my chat loves politics.
Are you being facetious?
No, I'm being serious. They actually like, not in a very serious way, but like very how can I put this? In a shit posting way. You know what that means?
No, I don't.
Maybe I shouldn't say that. How can I put this? It's kind of ironic, but with some truth in it.
So it's like for fun, like you make fun of shit, not like you don't like talk about it seriously.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
what?
They're kind of serious.
I say okay. I'm seeing crazy stuff in chat.
You should just ban these people that I have no association with. I don't know any of these people.
All right, I'm just gonna let people cook until I see evidence of.
What? No. What were they saying?
You see it? You know more about this than I do. So literally, it's my first stream back.
Okay, so for your context.
What do you stream about, by the way? Before I forget to ask.
Well, I don't know. I just go live. I click some links that they send me. I go to some weird games. VR chat, stuff like that. Do some party games, and that's it. It's just like, you know. But anyways, about the what he said in chat about panties or something, it's because I was wearing a mask, and they said it was a femboy panties, which is not true, of course. I don't like this. I don't know if you like that stuff or even know what that is. You know what a femboy is? Wait, we're not saying anything. Like what? Are you like?
What is happening? What is a femboy? What the fuck?
Oh, you don't know that? Okay, so a femboy is a guy who, dresses like a girl because he's kind of feminine. Right?
So
Not
trans? A trans woman?
No, it's not that. They're not that. Not as in like that type of person. It's like, how can I put this?
Someone who likes to dress? Cross-dresser?
Yeah, they just mainly cross-dress. They don't they don't.
So is chat saying you're a cross-dresser?
No, not me. It's because I wore a mask and they said there's a guy that is part of not my community, but in a similar community, and they said that I was wearing his panties because I was wearing a mask.
And why would he say that?
Because
yo, your chat is fucking hilarious.
They're not funny. They're crazy. But I don't cross that. How can I put this? I'm a normal person, Don't like that stuff.
Okay.
But anyway, let me sit down to be normal. I can't be normal, of course.
What?
Anyways, so you stream about politics. So are you, like Destiny? You know Destiny?
Of course I know Destiny.
So what are your thoughts on him?
I stopped watching him after that lolly shit. So.
Huh? Lolly shit. I don't know about that.
Okay.
Is it what I think it is?
Yeah, it probably is. So I stopped watching.
Anime girl?
I stopped watching him, but he's got some good takes. I mean, like we both before the lolly stuff, we both predicted. Well, we both agreed that Russia was going to invade Ukraine. I know like Hassan didn't think so, but so I have some stuff that I agree with Destiny with, but I don't know. It's kind of like Asmongold, like the majority of stuff I don't agree with, but then once in a while he'll surprise you and have a good take. So I'm not a liberal. I'm a little bit left of a liberal, but I'm not crazy left. I'm just talking to your chat right now.
Oh, I mean, I don't know whatever you're saying.
Death V. Do you watch Hassan?
Oh, no, I couldn't.
Why?
Okay. Well, let's say that I'm not,
I certified.
I don't like his streams, let's put it like that.
Why?
Well, his politics aren't my politics, and I don't like to waste time hate watching, so,
Okay, you're not a hate watcher. Like, how, like...
Yeah, I don't.
Well, like, are you, like, what part do you disagree with him in regards to politics?
Well, so there are so many, I guess. I mean, I'm not...
Well, the biggest one. Because you can't just be like, yo, I don't like him, I don't watch him. Like, he's the biggest lefty... Okay.
Isn't he like, let's put it like, in a short term, a Marxist, a commie, so
He is a Marxist.
He's like far left.
He is very far left. He is. But I still don't... That doesn't warrant me to hate him. I just disagree with like the very, very left positions that he has. But like majority of his takes I agree with. But sometimes he says some shit that gets him banned, and that's not good.
Yeah, he got banned recently.
Yeah.
For 1 day only.
Yeah, for like a day or two. It's so unfair. but you know, he's
I
the.
mean, unfair because it got banned, or was because
Well,
it was just one day?
it was like a day. Like if it was any other streamer, they'd be like a week off. Take the fucking week off or a month off. Because
Oh
like
yeah, big time.
like he's the biggest leftist like lefty like political streamer, so of course they're not gonna fucking ban him.
There's a guy, Forsen, that not this year, like in like 2020 or something. He clicked on a link and there was a horse cock, and he clicked off after 1 second, but he got banned indefinitely for like, you know, that's insane. Isn't that like crazy? That the guy accidentally clicked on a link and accidentally it was something bad, and he clicked that off, and yes, he got indefinitely banned for like. He said indefinitely, but he got unbanned like after some 30 days.
I don't understand like how that could be accidental.
I mean, it is accidental because he clicked on a link on a person he thought he could trust, right? And apparently it was a normal link, but then suddenly it changed to a.
It's okay that you're conservative, death V. Sorry, I'm just looking at chat right now. My community welcomes diversified political views.
Oh yes, I guess. How can I put this? My
Hi,
views are
T-Bird.
very
What? What's up?
right wing, I think.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're not liberals.
Your chat?
I think. Yeah, I'm a kind of a fair man, reasonable, but most of my viewers are like, you know.
What does reasonable mean? Because that's relative.
Sorry?
Reasonable is relative.
Oh, I thought you said reasonable. I just say like, I don't like have crazy politics.
So you just don't really get involved. You don't really pay attention to it.
Yeah, it's just the humor part, you know.
But like, would you identify? Would you if somebody asked you, would you be like, I'm a moderate, or like moderate left, moderate right? Like, what would you say?
I'd say just I'm right wing, sure.
You're right wing for sure.
Yep.
Not even like moderate right leaning. You would identify as right wing.
Yep, big time.
Big time?
Okay, big time sounds kind of off, but.
I don't know, man.
Just put like that on stream. I'm very, just chilling.
I mean, do what you want to do. I mean, every streamer does what they want to do, but man.
Yes, I mean, the fact that you respect that is very welcoming, because usually people get freaked out, right?
Freaked out by what?
Well, how can I put this? When a guy has pride in being right wing, right? I guess not nowadays. Because politics changed, but back in the 2020s, I guess it was very tough. Thoughts? Or just kind of.
1 second, I'm sorry.
Oh. If any of my viewers are messaging you, they're literally being ironic, by the way.
Nah, I'm just like. I'm just talking to my. I had some messages from friends.
Oh, okay. Because if it is one of my viewers being weird, just ban them or block them.
No, it's not. It's not. They're just talking to chat. I'm talking to someone else.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
You don't need to apologize.
I have in advance because you never know.
Okay.
But I guess I'm getting cooked live.
What do you mean?
I'm joking. It's a joke. Humor. Uh, just so I guess for me,
It's over? What?
everything. I'm joking. Maybe I should just hang up, because
Okay.
of my failure.
What? Okay, sure. Well,
I
let's.
mean, no, I'm joking. Uh, so, anyways, okay, last question though.
Don't be nervous. I'm literally on.
I'm not nervous. I'm just like.
Where are you right now? Like, what? Where are you? Are you like? Where are you streaming from? Country?
Country, guess.
I don't know. It's a fucking huge world. Can you give me a continent? And
I mean,
VYC,
like,
I'm not gonna ask about that.
What?
I'm just talking to one of your chat members.
Oh.
Give me a fucking continent.
I mean, but like through my accent, can't you be like guess?
No.
Yes. No.
I'm not gonna assume.
Come on, like you can't assume.
No,
like,
and you have glasses on too, so like you're not giving me a lot of indicators, and you have a hat, so like it's very indicators.
I guess it's working then, right? Okay.
Working for what? Why are you trying to hide who you are?
Long story, but moving on. Brazil.
Okay.
So it's a very odd. How can I put this? Discussion right now, right?
I've never been to Brazil, but my uncle works in Brazil.
Well, good luck for him.
What do you mean?
Well, But anyways, what I wanted to ask you about that my chat asked earlier.
Okay.
And I was like kind of afraid to ask.
Here we go. Okay, what's up?
But now you guys are like, sorry, you are kind of like open about this politics. It's kind of like Israel, Hamas stuff.
You're gonna try to get into the Middle East on my first stream back?
Oh my! I mean, somebody asked me that, and like I just. I mean, I assume you're,
What are you assuming?
Okay, you're not fine with assuming stuff. I mean, sorry. I mean, I don't mind your assuming stuff.
What do you? Where do you stand?
Well, let's say Palestine, but
That's interesting because that's incongruent with the right. If you identify as right wing, but that's okay. You don't. That's okay. Wait, hold up. That's okay. Like if you identify like as a left wing person, that doesn't necessarily mean that you agree with every single point of that.
I mean, they're in Israel and.
Wait, what?
Well, Jews, their leftists might be okay. By the way, I'm part Jewish, so just so you know.
That's fine. I have a lot of Jewish friends, and they have a very diverse opinion on what's going on in the Middle East. So,
I mean, just making sure, so I, don't think I'm weird, but just part Jewish stuff. Anyways, so some Jews, they are left wing.
Thanks, Steph.
They might support Israel because they believe in the religion part, and their right to have one state, right?
Do you believe that?
Well, we're on Twitch, so I'm kind of scared to talk about this. So.
Why are you afraid?
Come on, this platform, right?
I mean, they're not. I mean, we're not huge, We're nobodies. So like they're not gonna fucking.
We're nobody, right?
Like who? Yeah, like who cares? Like
Okay, so yeah, I don't think they have a right, even though I'm part Jewish myself.
Wait, who do you think doesn't have a right?
Israel
Doesn't have a right to what? Elaborate.
to be a state
At all?
at all.
Interesting. Elaborate.
Well, even though technically they came from there thousands of years ago.
Okay, that depends on where you want to start history from, but okay.
I mean, I don't remember exactly the period, but sure. First for Jews, right?
I'm just giving the caveat for chat.
And by the way, I'm not very political, but you can correct me, of course. So, okay, let me lock in. So, even though they're in the beginning, throughout most of history, it was the Palestinians, you know. And then
I see you, T-Bird and certified. I see you.
Late 19th century, that they started with the idea of Zionism in an official way, planning a state, and especially in the 20th century, they started to go there and go there and go there. So they just start replacing the people, you know, and killing them. And so, you know, they don't have a right to be there and be a state. And if throughout history they weren't welcomed in certain places, maybe there's a reason for it.
What?
Including, of course. Well, you know what? That should go offline. Good talking to you, though. You wanna?
Yeah.
Good luck in your streaming career.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
Nice
Bye.
to meet you. By the way.
Oh my God. He just said some anti-Semitic. Oh. I don't like that. It was nice to collab, but, you know, like... Yeah, I've known people who are on the spectrum. You know, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Some people are savants and they're like really honed in on something, you know? Like, maybe you just needed company. I don't know. It was a good side quest. First stream back, you know? Death. What were you saying about first stream back? For the record, we, the viewers, have no allegiance and hold no responsibility of any of that shit he just said. Death, you are killing me. I don't know if we agree on 100% politics, but you are funny. So, T-Bird, you missed it. He was too quiet. He said, from what I heard, maybe I misheard, but what I heard was that he said maybe there was a reason why the Jews weren't welcome in places or something like that. I don't know. That was kind of like, I don't know. That's not, you know. But is somebody gonna clip me out of context? It's fine. I'm nobody. Like, if anybody spends 2 seconds watching any of my commentary, they know. I have no compunction, or fear about that. Like, I am not Jewish. I'm not Palestinian. I have no dog in this fight in regards to physically and DNA and religion and stuff. And I probably know more Jewish people than I do Palestinians. But I also know I've come across some Palestinians. I probably know one. That I actually talk to. But like, it's just like, I'm not gonna invalidate like certain people's like experiences. If they're Jewish and very involved and very patriotic, and like they've known people who've died in the IDF in this war, like we just don't really talk about that. And like we just kind of focus on enjoying each other's company when we're out drinking in New York, and just kind of like talk about other shit. Some people can't do that, and that's okay. But I'm not going to invalidate their experience if I disagree what Israel is doing in the U.S., what the U.S. and Western countries are doing right now to the Middle East. I'm not going to be like, nah, But I have had I've had friends who used to be close, but because of this war, just like stopped being friends, and that's really sad. But they're invested though. It's not like me. They're invested. One's on the other side. Certified. I guess he likes what? Death. Yeah, I would at least support a two-state solution with the only question marks being one, Jerusalem, two, who would be the government of the Palestinian state, because obviously there needs to be someone who wouldn't want to destroy the entire... Yeah, I agree with that so far, but I would also follow up and say three, who would be like the one that like mediates it, because like it can't be either party, because then they're going to be biased, kind of like what's happening right now. Like they need like a quote, as neutral of a third party you can be, so that if one violates the other, they can keep them in check. Otherwise, the two-state solution will not work long term. It can't be the U.S. because the U.S. is clearly on one side. So, I think that would be like point 3 to your follow-up. Certified. The world is crazy right now. Yes, it is. T-Bird. Any state that has protests where they demonstrate for sexual assault of inmates has to go. I can't condone that. Yeah, I mean, that's fucked, IAS, on a scale of 1 to 10, how weird was that guy? I don't really want to, like, rank somebody. I mean, like, if he's, like, autistic, I mean, like, he's trying to connect with people in the best way that he can. I'm not gonna, like, rank him, Like, I feel like that's kind of mean. Certified, I was talking about Mark. Okay, I don't... Death, yeah, also true, of course, yes. Okay. The question mark about the Jerusalem is the part that I do not believe that there should be a restriction on Jews and Christians praying at. I agree with that. 100%. Jerusalem is very complicated. I mean, everything's complicated over there, but Jerusalem, yeah, that is a good point. T-Bird. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to allow that, T-Bird, that chat, because this community, I want to build it diverse. I know what I believe, but I'm obviously trying to reorient my dish with the last election, and I do value different viewpoints. But the rule is that if you fucking cause some shit, like if you're rude, if you're like... It's okay to have like discourse and like be passionate and arguing, but if you start like ad hominem attacks and things like that, like then that's like a ban. That's like a take an hour off, take a day off kind of vibe. So like that's just kind of standard rules for me. So just be respectful, and like everybody can share their opinions. I think it's complicated. T-Bird. I think that it's simple for people who are very clearly on one side or the other. But I think the majority of people in the world say that it's very, very complicated. All Americans lack morals? Excusez-moi. Though I'm only part American, I guess. That's a very sweeping statement, Hebert. And you're a part of my community, you're a long-time community member. You can't seriously think that I lack morals. Let me, come on. You're exaggerating to make a point. Def, my answer would be both. I mean, just because the rockets are stricken down doesn't mean they weren't shot in the first place. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys talk while we do this.
Attacks on Social Security, the attacks on, potential attacks on Medicare, Medicaid, etc. So Republicans.
So new watchers, just to pause for 1 second. Breaking Points is unique in my opinion, is because one of the hosts is on the right, one of the hosts is on the left. So you get differing viewpoints. Usually it's her on the left, and there's a guy, Sagar, who was in the presser, who was on the right. Emily, the other girl that you're going to see, the blonde one, she's on the right. So the reason why I like watching their videos is because I can get both sides.
Are betting that because they did not even try to negotiate the CR with Democrats, they just negotiated amongst themselves. They're betting on Democrats blinking in the Senate, and they might.
I can see that happening.
That Fetterman is the only one who has really come out and indicated he'll vote for this. They need to get 7. Mm-hmm. Even some more moderate members, people like Tim Kaine and Mark Warner, have expressed hesitation at voting for this particular CR. And maybe that's because they're from Virginia, and that's a state that obviously there's lots of federal government workers, etc. But that is kind of an indication of where more of the moderate members may be headed in the Senate. So, I don't know. Republicans, like I said, are thinking that Democrats, because they're committed to the government, are going to go weak-kneed here, and that usually is a safe bet. But I'm not sure in this case. Schumer has played it pretty coy. Jeffries came out and was like, we're going to whip no, and we talked about that previously. Schumer has said, I'm going to wait and see what happens in the House before I really weigh in here. Well, now we know what happened in the House, so the ball is, in a sense, in Senate Democrats' court. That being said, I think J.D. Vance is 100% correct that if the government shuts down, it's going to be blamed on Republicans because Republicans control everything. So, who else are you going to blame when Republicans are in control of the House, the Senate, and the White House?
Unless Democrats really lean into owning the blame, and this is something that I think the media often gets wrong with shutdown politics, is conflating goals for the base with goals for the broader public. And the broader public does not like shutdowns. They're never excited about a shutdown. It feels like chaos, and it feels sort of reckless and childish. But on the other hand, the Republican base, because this hasn't really come up much for the Democratic base, but I think it's true of both bases, they do like shutdown politics. They find it to be actually invigorating to everything you just said, Crystal. It's like showing a damn spine and using the leverage that you have. And in this case, Democrats have a significant amount of leverage. So what we might end up seeing is one of those really short shutdowns over the weekend.
Probably.
Actually. It could be something that is very, very temporary, and Democrats lean in, rally the base, and say, we're not opening back up the government until we get this, and they get part of it and can claim a
That's probably what's
going to
happen.
Their own base, who desperately wants them to show a spine and is showing up at
the
town
cam
halls,
went blurry.
showing up at events with people like Chris Murphy,
it does
for
that.
example, is protesting at Tesla dealerships. So the shutdown lessons for Republicans have been that's always a shot in the arm with the base, and Democrats now, Rand Paul is not voting yes, so that's where the 7 number comes from.
Ooh, interesting.
Interesting. Democrats have a real opportunity to learn from a lesson Republicans have taken over the last 10 or so years about shutdown politics. I am super curious to see how this proceeds.
Rand Paul is kind of like Asmongold. He will majority I disagree with his takes, and then once in a minute, a long minute, he'll have one good voting thing. So
proceeds.
Yeah, well, and the last thing I'll say about this is part of what has informed Republican approach to shutdown politics is that they've been more fearful of primary challenges from their right than, most of these members, including most senators, are in, relatively like safe red or blue districts / states. And so they're constantly looking over their shoulder at like who's the, more radical or more Trumpy or more whatever person who could come out of the woodwork and challenge me from the right. Democrats have not had as much of that same dynamic. Obviously, there were some, high profile Justice Democrats wins, AOC taking out Joe Crowley, but by and large, they haven't really felt like they are threatened significantly from their left. And that is what could be changing. Now, I don't think that they've adjusted their politics to reckon with the fact that it's no longer just like, progressives and lefties who are critical of Democratic leadership, that this is the mainstream liberal Democratic normie Dem voter position is to be disgusted with Democratic leadership and their total lack of fight. I don't think that they've really like incorporated that into their view of the world. They still see it as this like, fringe annoying group that they can just feel free to disregard, as evidenced by the way that some of these quote unquote leaders have approached this particular era. But I do think that reality,
I don't know. Do you guys think there's going to be
should change their calculus? Whether it does
government
or not
shutdown?
Is another matter. Now, I will say a bunch of these people, all of them are having their offices flooded with calls from the liberal base that wants them to fight, wants them to challenge Trump.
Yeah, but the Dems don't have a fucking backbone. That's what I'm talking about. Also, I forgot to update chat and returning members that I had a really bad ear infection while I was gone, and it ruptured my eardrum, so I am partially deaf on this side, and I'm waiting for it to heal. And I'm hoping that it'll heal by itself and I won't need surgery. And I'm so... fingers crossed. But yeah, that's a tangent. Hi, Certified. Welcome back.
And Elon more aggressively. Any of them that have done town halls, it's not just Bernie who's getting huge crowds. Any politician who shows up are garnering huge crowds to come and either support them or yell at them or encourage them on the Democratic Party side to put up more of a fight. So they're certainly receiving that message. Whether or not they're going to adjust their approach to reflect that energy among the Democratic base is an open question.
So risk averse. It really is the open question.
Yeah.
Like this to me is maybe a litmus test for Democrats in this
we'll
new,
see. We'll
like,
fucking see if
wilderness
they'll
era that they're
fight.
in after Trump won.
We'll see.
Post lawfare, post
I'd bet
2020
bet
loss.
against it, but
Can Democrats finally be forced into a less risk averse position? The last thing I wanted to mention, Crystal, is the step by step. This is Bradley J. at Breitbart kind of charted this out after Chip Roy was talking to Steve Bannon. He said the plan really is to pass the clean CR, which they did. Elon continues finding waste, fraud, and abuse. 3, Russ Vogt will formulate those findings into a plan. And then 4, Trump will use the impoundment power to enact savings. So their new theory of the impoundment, it's not a new theory, but the unitary executive theory that they are completely enacting and testing in the courts right now about impoundment and the president's ability to just say we're not spending this congressionally appropriated money was a huge, huge factor in convincing the Chip Roys to go along with a plan that doesn't play the same politics. Or
they don't know. They just don't
typical
know.
freedom
The party
caucus
can't
line
figure
on
out
that
which
politics
direction.
Now they have someone who's willing to be that unitary executive. Finally, Crystal.
I think I know, Death, which path that they should choose, but I just don't think that the establishment Democrats are going to allow that to happen.
Other thing for Democrats that's a little complicated this time around is with the shutdown, they're currently trying to defend federal workers. And federal workers are always, sort of the political football in a shutdown, and the agencies are always a political football in the shutdown. So that definitely complicates their calculus as to how far they push this on Friday into Saturday and Sunday.
I don't doubt that what you're saying is correct about Doge helping make this an easier pill to swallow for the Chip Roys of the world, but I don't think that's really what's going on. I think what's really going on is Elon's billions and the fact that he said, hey, if you don't do what we want you to do and what the president asked you to do or I asked you to do, I'm going to primary you. And I'm going to put however much money I need to put to make sure that you are defeated. And then you've got
It's all
Trump
about
out
the
there
money.
and Chris LaCivita making a test case of Thomas Massey and, threatening him, who's a very popular figure with a lot of the Republican base, and certainly popular in his district as well. So, you know, you're really going after someone who's quite prominent. So it's like, oh, if even Thomas Massey is going to be put in their sights, anyone really can be. And so that's why I think that the Elon and Trump era of MAGA has crushed the remaining rebellion among the Tea Party, like the Tea Party wing of the Republican Party outside of Thomas Massey and Rand Paul are probably the only ones who are really willing to dissent. It's kind of interesting they're both from Kentucky, because Kentucky is not actually that libertarian of a state, but whatever.
Yeah, that's like fucking solid red.
I think that they have ended effectively the Tea Party rebellion era of Republican politics just through the sheer force of cult of personality, the megaphone that is X, and Elon being the richest man on the planet.
Hey, if you...
But he is losing a lot of money. He is losing a lot of money. All right. We're going to cover one more story about Elon, and then we're going to go into Bernie Sanders. No, we're going to do Elon, and then we're going to do the Palestine thing, the Colombia-Palestine thing, and then we're going to go into Bernie.
Business the other day, and there's some noteworthy moments here that we're going to get to, but this one
yeah, I agree. Certified, it's a loophole. Doge is a loophole, and I just think that's fundamentally undemocratic. Like, death, I understand, maybe like you really like Elon and you like what the Trump administration is doing. I just think that Republicans are supposed to be the party of, you know, America first, you know, you gotta, like, democracy. Like, you gotta, like, if you want Elon to do what he's doing, like, he's gotta be elected, you know, or he's gotta be, like, appointed and then go through the whole process, going in front of Congress, like, divesting his money. But he can't divest his money or he's gonna lose a bunch of net worth. So that's why they created Doge. And I just fundamentally think that it's not democratic. And I feel that that's incongruent with, like, traditional republicanism or conservatism. Death, a Doge can't really work for nobody. R or D is willing to touch the parts that do the most spending. Like, I feel like, okay, so you're saying that because both Republicans and Democrats don't have the balls to do what Doge is doing, even though I disagree with what they're doing, because I think that he doesn't really know what he's doing. I think you got to be more informed. It's okay if you want to make the government smaller. You just got to do it in the right way, or you're going to fuck up the country. People are going to die, you know? Like, it's that serious. Oh, you're not American? What's your opinion on Elon death? They're not really suggesting, though, death. Basically, Elon is controlled because he's the richest man on earth. What says goes, and Trump is on his side. They're on the same page. They're in cahoots. They're two peas in a pod. Yes, they don't technically have the legal power to do it, but because he's friends with the president, and president has a lot of power, he's allowed to do that. And the Republicans are scared, this gets really, really deep and complicated.
When asked about his businesses, he genuinely appears on the verge of tears. So, in other words, and all you know this, the boycotts are working. They are working. The Tesla stock price has come down 50% from its peak. 50% from its peak. The Starlink rockets are blowing up, like, seemingly once a week. And this is the guy who wants control of the entire FAA system. He wants to do flight safety for the whole country, as he can't fucking launch a rocket without it exploding. So,
when something bad happens,
Teslas are being vandalized everywhere.
I'm sorry, I gotta pause this. Because we're talking about planes. I landed safely in New York. That was like one of the only things that I wanted in life, to land safely. and Elon is like fucking up the FAA more and more. Like it's like an indicator of the first world country and the most advanced allegedly country on earth, to not have these fucking disasters. Like that's like third world country stuff. Like this is something that Americans should be proud of. Like to have a non-dangerous, trustworthy like air, like aviation system. So like you're fucking that shit up. It's not gonna look good in the international stage.
Have been burnt down. Charging stations have been destroyed, and normal people are going, why would I want to affiliate myself with that when my car might get destroyed? And also, the guy who's the face of the company is fucking Zig Heiling at the inauguration.
Yeah, that was bad.
Right?
The Sig Heil.
His, like,
that was really bad.
Deniability. Oh, I'm just autistic. Oh, it was a Roman salute. Oh, I just got too excited. That's not going to work on normies. Normies are going to be like, I don't know, man. Walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's a fucking duck, right? So people are now backing away. Tesla sales are plummeting everywhere. So here we go. He's asked about his businesses. This is his reaction.
You're hearing a call to action. Yeah. You giving up your other stuff? I mean, how are you running your other businesses?
With great difficulty.
It's like, I'm just tweeting all the time. I delegate.
Yeah, I mean...
But there's no turning back, you're saying?
I'm just here trying to make government more efficient, eliminate waste and fraud, and so far we're making good progress.
Look, I don't even need to... You guys all know we're eliminating waste and fraud is such a fucking lie. The inspectors general, that is their job, and Trump fired them in the first week. The GAO, Government Accountability Office, that's their job to go after waste and fraud. Okay? Doge is bullshit. It's a fake government agency. He's illegally hacking into our government agencies, and he's deleting ones he doesn't like. That's what they're doing. Nothing to do with that.
And even if I understand correctly, like I said, first stream back, haven't really been paying very, 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 very close attention to politics like I usually am. Like I'm usually fucking tapped in. But I saw a story that a bunch of Doge employees even resigned themselves. Like even they were like, nah, this is too far. And when I hear shit like that, and when that shit happens, that makes me even more worried than what I'm hearing him doing in general. But when like you're losing people from the inside, like that's not good. That's like an indication of like almost like treason.
Who knows that? The American people. Which is why they see like fucking disabled veterans getting fired and flight safety officials getting fired, and they're like,
no, T-Bird, can you elaborate? What do you mean by lose land?
Tesla and Starlink, who can't launch a goddamn rocket. So, I'm running it with great difficulty. Yeah, well, maybe you should put more time and effort into that. By the way, he doesn't care anymore. He doesn't care about his fucking cars. By the way, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there are electric vehicles in China that absolutely drax Teslas. Like, they put Teslas to shame, dog.
I don't understand why the left, like extreme left, love China so much. Fucking, they just don't understand. They've never lived there, and it's just, I think it's such an illusory, like they see all the good things and they don't see the bad things because they've never experienced it and lived through it. And I think I give a unique perspective on that. Seeing how a country can take over politically and militarily and all that kind of bullshit, another country that has separate laws, separate language, separate culture, separate currency, and like everybody knows, like in Asia at least, like growing up, if you can pay for it, if there's two equivalent products, made in China, made in America, you would buy made in America because you were sure that the quality was better, even if you had to pay a little more. Like, it's just like, yeah, China has, like, they build shit fast, and it's all shiny, right? Like these hospitals that they erected during COVID. But they're not to code. it's never to coat. It's like contaminated milk once and killed a bunch of babies. Like it's not like quality control is a problem. So I just have to say that it bothers me a lot that like a lot of leftists are like super pro China. And that's like one thing that I like disagree with them on.
They're not allowed to sell them
One
in
of
the
the
US,
things.
but I believe they are in Europe, right? You see Tesla sales falling off a cliff, 60%, 70% in different European countries.
Exactly,
Fucking
Death.
of course.
The social
You don't care about the
problems,
cars
the
anymore.
social
You don't
issues
put
are the
any energy or
problem.
effort into them. You're just coasting off your fucking name, but it's catching up to you because now your name is shit. Now your name is worth. You are the world's richest man, and you're cutting pediatric cancer research, and you expect everybody to heap fawning adoration and praise on you? What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? But I'm not done. So
I gotta look
love
into
this,
that
like,
T-Bird before I
painting
give
himself as the
people
victim. No, bitch,
my opinion.
You made your bed, and now you're sleeping in it. Okay, and it's gonna be a long sleep, dog. So, other part of this interview, and again, this is why your businesses are turning to shit. This is why nobody trusts you, nobody likes you. You've become a comically evil character, right? So, I'm running it with great difficulty. Okay, step down. Step down. It'd be great if he stepped down and Tesla was in the hands of other people. I think people would go back to buying Teslas, right? Okay, here we go. Ready? This is why.
Oh, it's so
your
cringe
sales are
whenever
tanking,
I
your
see
rockets
a
are
Tesla
exploding, 'cause
Cybertruck.
This is the shit that you're focusing on, you absolute charlatan.
Because everybody
You said
knows the type of
charlatan.
person who
That's not a
drives
thing. Here
it.
we go.
I mean, there is support in entitlement spending, which is which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. So that's like the big one to eliminate.
He's talking about Social Security and Medicare. Quote.
That's
the
so
big
bad.
one to eliminate. By the way,
That's
he
so
says there's fraud
bad.
there. There's not. That's total bullshit. That's total bullshit. We have the numbers. We have the numbers. It's less than 1% fraud, and the fraud is just slight overpayments to people. Gee, I wonder why your businesses are failing. Could it be because you're taking the most successful and popular government program and saying, yeah, we want to get rid of that?
The sort of $500 billion, maybe $700 billion a year. That is also a mechanism by which the Democrats attract and retain illegal immigrants.
What
That is
the
a complete and
fuck?
utter lie. That is 100% not how the system works. No undocumented immigrant gets Social Security. I repeat, no undocumented immigrant gets Social Security. He's just a liar.
Dude,
This is
what the
just
fuck?
A lie. Just like when he said we have 150-year-olds and 200-year-olds.
That is such a lie. Okay. A lot of Americans don't know the system, and I don't blame them because there's no reason to know the system. A lot of people aren't exposed to people of like if they don't live in like LA or New York, they're not exposed to like other types of people from other countries a lot. So they don't have a reason to, and they don't have a need to learn about the system. But anyone here on a visa, and they work here, they have to pay taxes, but they can't get any benefits. Like, they can't borrow money for school and shit like that. Like, that was a blatant lie. Even though, let's say you love Elon, but that was a lie. Like, come on. Like, that's a lie. Like, you can't just, fucking... Like, I know how it is. I went through the USCIS system. Like, I know that shit back at, the back of my hand, pretty much, you know?
And they're getting Social Security payments. No, they're fucking not. That's a lie. It was something to do with the coding system and how it works and the default year that's put in. It's just not true, but they don't care because they want to cut it.
certain
They will
items,
use any
T-Bird,
fucking excuse,
you gotta
which is why
invest.
Trump, in his speech to Congress,
Especially
said
things
the
that
same
need
bullshit.
safety.
Oh, we got 150-year-olds and 200-year-olds. Why would he say that? Because he's laying the groundwork to say, we had to cut it, but don't worry, we didn't actually cut it. We just got rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse. Even though what they say is waste, fraud, and abuse isn't, and if they cut it, it will impact real people. Guys, before Social Security, we had a senior poverty rate of over 30%, and some say even over 40%. You know what it is after Social Security? 10%.
That's crazy.
Social Security saved elderly people, senior citizens, from being homeless on the street in this country. And he wants to go back to them being on the street.
Because he doesn't care. He's the richest guy on earth.
Lie. They can't vote. They can't vote. There's a lie. Oh my God.
Yes.
Wait, what the fuck?
And he wants to go back to them being on the street.
to come here, and then turning them into voters.
Lie.
You can't vote if you're not a citizen, and they check that shit like crazy. Like I just moved to New York. I'm dealing with all this shit, like registering to vote, DMV, all this type of shit. Like they check shit, and you are required to bring a shit ton of documents. Like this is a fucking lie. This is a huge lie. Even if you're a documented immigrant, you cannot vote. Like, well, even green card holders can't vote. You have to be a full-fledged citizen. Like, it's intense, the paperwork. I literally have, like, 4 folders because I'm bringing backup paperwork just in case. And that's from my experience with the government of the U.S., of USCIS, basically. So, like, I've still retained that mindset, even though I'm a citizen now. I still retain that mindset that I bring, like, 2 backups of everything. Death. Depends on the state. These laws are different in state-by-state basis. No, you can't vote for the presidency if you're undocumented or you're a documented immigrant. You have to be a citizen to vote for the president. Maybe New York, I think they might have made a law if you're a green card, you can do local elections, but you can't, like, that's a lie. You know, he's not, like, Elon isn't giving, when he said that, he's like saying it in a way where it seems like they're doing it on the presidential level. He did not give the caveat of like, oh, but it depends on the state. And it's like local only. It's not like national election, like things like that, you know, like he's not giving all that context.
They can't vote. They can't vote. There's a lie. Oh my God.
Yes. So this is why the Democrats are so upset about the situation.
No, the Democrats are upset about the situation because it's the most popular and beloved government program, and it works. By the way, they act also like it adds to the debt. It doesn't. By law, it can't add to the deficit. It's basically in its own lockbox. And they act like it's going to go bankrupt. That's also not true. If you do nothing, it's still...
What is happening?
So Elon Musk did it...
Okay, so for new viewers, this shit happens sometimes, and we joke about... there being a ghost, because sometimes I watch paranormal videos on this channel. It's mainly politics, like I'd say 95, 97%. Sometimes we'll like do pop culture. And then like 0.1% we'll have a day where we watch paranormal shit. It's just like funny. It's like what I want to like to watch. And a lot of people come here for the politics but don't stay for the haunted stuff. But the hardcore ones stay with me through everything.
There's not. That's total bullshit. That's total bullshit. We have the numbers. We have the numbers. It's less than 1% fraud, and the fraud is just slight overpayments to people. Gee, I wonder why your businesses are failing. Could it be because you're taking the most successful and popular government program and saying, yeah, we want to get rid of that?
The sort of $500 billion, maybe $600 to $700 billion a year. That is also a mechanism by which the Democrats attract and retain illegal immigrants.
That is a complete and utter lie. That is 100% not how the system works. No undocumented immigrant gets Social Security. I repeat, no undocumented immigrant gets Social Security. He's just a liar. This is just a lie. Just like when he said we have 150-year-olds and 200-year-olds and they're getting Social Security payments. No, they're fucking not. That's a lie. It was something to do with the coding system and how it works and the default year that's put in. It's just not true, but they don't care because they want to cut it, and they will use any fucking excuse, which is why Trump, in his speech to Congress, said the same bullshit. Oh, we got 150-year-olds and 200-year-olds. Why would he say that? Because he's laying the groundwork to say, we had to cut it, but don't worry, we didn't actually
Bye, Certified. Thanks for tuning in. I miss you.
Even though
I don't know what I'm going to be streaming next, so keep an eye out, okay?
Before Social Security,
for your notifications.
A senior poverty rate of over 30%, and some say even over 40%. You know what it is after Social Security? 10%. Social Security saved elderly people, senior citizens, from being homeless on the street in this
Stop
country. And he wants to go
certified.
back to them being on the street.
To come here and then turning them into voters.
Lie. They can't vote. They can't. There's a lie. Oh my God.
Yes. So this is why the Democrats are so upset about the situation.
No, the Democrats are
Death,
upset about the situation.
I think because Elon is getting a lot of airtime, it's hard to like ignore that and listen to Trump.
To the deficit. It's basically in its own lockbox, and they act like it's going to go bankrupt. That's also not true. If you do nothing, it still pays out 83% of its benefits from 2035 and on, right? All you have to do to fix it forever is just lift the cap. Right now, you only get taxed for Social Security on your first $170,000 or so per year. If you lift that cap, and somebody who makes $10 million has to pay that same 6.2% that you do with whatever your salary is, then it's funded as far as the eye can see. But God forbid, the rich have to pay a little more to make sure grandma isn't sleeping on the street.
You know, if we turn off this gigantic money magnet for illegal immigrants, then they will leave, and they will lose voters.
They're not voting, and this isn't a money magnet for Social Security. In fact, guys, the reality is 180 degrees the opposite of what he's saying. Musk claims Social Security is a giant magnet to attract illegal immigrants. In fact, immigrants here illegally do not collect Social Security, but they pay $25.7 billion a year into it.
So, Death, to respond to like the driver's license thing, like you can get like a state ID or driver's license, but like you have to prove citizenship, and then you have to like, and then you gotta sign up to vote, and then you gotta, and that's the process, and then after getting citizenship, and then you have to go through like some sort of like a lot of portals and things like that to tell you where to vote because you have a designated voting place. There's a lot of that stuff. Like it's like a pre-screen kind of thing. So I'm just trying to explain to you how it works. Because like you wouldn't know where to go to vote.
A recent study found.
So I'm just saying, because like I think you're like you said earlier that you're like right wing. So I'm just trying to like I'm hoping that you're open to like, if you're still here, that you're open to like hearing both sides and then making up your mind and just trying to figure out where, like, both sides fucking lie. But like let's be real and let's call out when each side lies. And this is one of the areas that I think the Republicans lie about is this whole illegal voting thing. And a lot of people just kind of go with it because it's party loyalty. And they don't understand like how voting works fully. And it's hard to like be like, okay, I'm going to go do my independent research to see like if other people can't, like, there's no self-interest in doing research into whether other people can vote. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason. It's easier to just listen to the people who are part of your party telling you what to think. Hi, T-Bird.
So these undocumented workers are actually subsidizing Americans. He could not be more wrong. He has it exactly backwards. Because he's an anti-government fundamentalist, he's an anarcho-capitalist extremist, and for you, he wants to destroy the social safety net, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you're on your fucking own, I don't care if you gotta sleep under a bridge, I don't care if you can't afford to put a roof over your head or pay the light bill or go to the doctor, I don't care. This is his ideology, but you know who he's fine with getting government money? Himself.
Yeah, he does get a lot of money.
He makes $8 million a day. In tax money from you and me.
Wait, a
He's
day?
$38 billion in subsidies for his companies. I don't want to hear a fucking word out of this guy's mouth until he lives his values first and foremost, and you say, here's the $38 billion back, here's interest on that, and I'm never taking another penny, no more $8 million a day for me. After you do that, you want to have a debate and a disagreement and a conversation, oh, I think we should cut government spending more broadly. Fine, we can have that conversation at that time. But until you prove you will live your fucking values, no fucking interest in what you have to say.
I hear you, Dad.
You want grandma to sleep under a bridge. You want disabled people to lose their fucking health care, right? Republicans just cut Medicaid. Disabled people, sorry, we're going to take your health care away from you. Low-income people, we're going to take your health care away from you. The food stamp program, making sure people don't starve in this country, sorry, we're cutting that $230 billion. You want to say fuck you to all people in this country who are just trying to get by. And by the way, just so we're clear, this is rich coming from him. According to his brother, he came here as an illegal immigrant, Elon did. He was an undocumented immigrant. So yes, he's an undocumented immigrant.
Shouldn't he be deported then?
He is the living embodiment of the Reagan stereotype
It's
of
just
the Democrats.
projection.
He's the living embodiment of it. And what he wants to do is take the earned benefit programs away from people who earn those benefits and have the right to receive it. Gee, I wonder why Tesla's tanking. I wonder why SpaceX
I'm glad
sucks.
you
I
have a
wonder
good
why
take on that,
everybody
on
despises
Ukraine
this guy.
death.
Really tough one to figure out. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps
Because
out.
Russia was obviously the aggressors. No question. No fucking question. Absolutely no question. Okay, we're going to do the the Columbia student thing. And then we'll shift to Bernie.
Developing.
Hold on one second.
A federal judge has blocked the deportation of
Hold on. I'm letting you know my extensions aren't working. So you got to bear with me. My extensions aren't working. So this stream isn't going to be perfect. First stream back, baby. Okay. So ICE agents arrest Palestinian activists with green card. It's basically you have the same rights as a citizen, except you can't vote. That's what a green card is. It's basically on your way to citizenship. Who helped lead Columbia protests. This kind of hits home because this could have been me. I went to Columbia and I would have been part of the protests on the lawn. And I got my citizenship, I think, last year. So, like, this could have been me. Like,
story on the
it's
campus
scary.
of Columbia University.
Why is this fucking, like, 140p? What the fuck? It's 360p. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. That's not my fault. That's them.
A student connected to pro-Palestinian protests last year has been detained by ICE. This comes on the heels of President Trump announcing the university will be stripped of federal funds.
That's
Eyewitness
crazy.
News reporter Sonia Rincon has
That's
the latest
fucked.
from Morningside Heights. Sonia.
You know how many conservatives are, like go to Columbia? Like, that's crazy.
ICE agents came and detained him last night, claiming that his student visa was being revoked. Well, his attorney says
He's not on
he
his
doesn't have a
student visa.
He is married to a U.S. citizen who also happens to be 8
Pregnant.
months pregnant, and now she doesn't know where he's being held, and ICE won't tell her. Mahmoud Khalil spoke with ABC.
They don't know
News
where
during
he
protests
is.
here at
They
Columbia
fucking pulled some China bullshit and disappeared someone. Guys, this is America. We don't do this shit, okay? Like, I don't care if you're left wing, right wing, a moderate. We do not do this shit. We do not fucking disappear people. Even if they disagree with what you're saying. What you believe in. And you don't like what's coming out of their mouth. Because freedom of speech. First Amendment. Like, you just don't disappear people. Like, that's so... You can't do that. That's some totalitarian, like, dictatorship, like, Marx... I don't even know. Like, fucking crazy fascist bullshit. Like, that is insane.
University last year, and you're looking at video from those protests. Khalil, who is Palestinian, was a student negotiator when there were tents on campus. Now, he graduated in December.
Okay, but that's
still
different, though,
lives in the
T-Bird.
neighborhood.
Like,
he was arrested at his home, according to his attorney, who says agents claim to be following a State Department order. That attorney, Amy Greer, says ICE's arrest and detention of Mahmoud follows the U.S. government's open repression of student activism and political speech, specifically targeting students at Columbia University for criticism of Israel's assault on Gaza. Now, State Assembly member Emily Gallagher added in a social media post, "You can't detain someone and revoke their legal status because you don't like their speech. That's not my opinion. It's central to the rule of law."
Yep.
And the New York Immigration Coalition says if someone with a green card is suspected of committing a crime, well, they'd have to be arrested for that first.
ICE agents or Department of Homeland Security, they actually can't revoke anyone's green card. You have to go through a court process, and that means that an immigration judge would have to revoke it, not an agent who's walking in the street haphazardly looking for anyone who may fit a profile that they're looking for and say, you know what, I'm gonna revoke your visa. That's not how this works.
Yeah, it's not. It's a very elaborate system, and I think it's inefficient. That's just my opinion, and the opinion of all the people who've gone through the system. But yeah, he's right. You can't just do that. But with the whole Epstein thing, that's different. Like, you know, like that happens in every country, and also like that's not about politics. And like America, like at least like the facade. You know what I mean? Like it's different. It's different when it's political speech. I'm not saying it's more or less moral. I'm just saying it's different.
Said he wants to have foreign students deported and detained if they're seen as agitators in campus protests, and advocates say this is a very dangerous policy. The administration also announced Friday that it is cutting
I'm gonna look into that, Jeff.
$400 million in grants and contracts for Columbia University because of what it says was its failure to thwart anti-Semitism on campus. We're live outside Columbia in Morningside Heights. Sonia Rincon, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
I think they lifted it. I think they lifted Hamas at one point as part of like the groups, like terrorist groups, but it's back on, I think. But I might be wrong on that. I might be wrong on that. I don't think so don't quote me on that. But Death, I think that it's, remember one of the questions on the USCIS forms. I think the question is, have you been part of or aided a terrorist group or something like that? I don't think it ever said anything about talking about a terrorist group. So, but now, let's see what a federal judge did about the deportation of Khalil.
Palestinian activist and Columbia University graduate who was arrested by federal immigration agents in New York Saturday. Attorneys representing Mahmoud Khalil had filed a motion as well to transfer him back to New York after he was sent to an ICE processing center in Louisiana. The Department of Homeland Security says Khalil was arrested for violating President Trump's executive order banning anti-Semitism.
What do you mean by support, though? He was just protesting. That's legal in the U.S. That's legal in the U.S. If you're in certain countries, you're not even allowed to congregate for a protest. That's illegal. But it's legal in the U.S.
As a permanent resident with a green card, the president took to Truth Social Monday and said Khalil's arrest was the first of many to come. CBS News correspondent Lily Luciano has been following this for us. So, Lily, what do we know about what led to the judge's decision to block his deportation?
So what we know is that Khalil's attorneys have, of course,
that's not true, T-Bird. That's not true.
We know, according to multiple legal
can't do that in China.
Immigration attorneys I've talked to throughout the day, today, and starting yesterday, that this is extremely unprecedented. The government has not provided evidence that Khalil was in any way cooperating, working with Hamas, and I have not seen any statement.
See, that's why she said that, cooperating or like involved or helping, and that's I think I remember that was one of the questions. So like protesting and speaking isn't necessarily like you're not involved in the group itself, and Hong Kong, you were allowed to protest, the umbrella movement for democracy, but they ever since. Like, China's very shame-driven, so they shut that shit down after that, and you're not really allowed to protest anymore. You're allowed to, but the police get violent now.
that the government is alleging that he made in support of Hamas. Even I've talked to multiple students, faculty members who are all
No,
very concerned
he did not
about
do
this
any
being
of
a
that.
violation of freedom of speech. There is certainly, I spent the day today in Columbia, at Columbia University, there's certainly a chilling effect. Technically speaking, what I know about this order or this block on the deportation, the purpose of it is so that the court here this federal court does not lose jurisdiction. Because once somebody is deported, it's very hard to bring them back to the United States to face a legal process. And so what the goal is to maintain that jurisdiction.
Thanks for the follow,
in this
Def.
federal court, where as anybody, especially somebody with a green card, somebody who is a permanent resident of the United
My
States.
TTS isn't
can find
working.
votes. What are the next steps?
Gotta fix
Well,
that.
the next steps, I was wondering whether he needs to appear in this court, and I have not received any clarity on whether or not he has to show up in person. He could potentially attend virtually. His attorneys, which are more than one, will likely of course be present at this hearing, and so will, I'm sure, many protesters.
Sure.
Because throughout the day,
Oh,
today,
you
we have
really
seen growing
followed for a while?
protests, from people who stand, doesn't matter where they stand politically, where they stand in terms of the conflict, who are concerned about this unprecedented action of taking a U.S. permanent resident who is married to a U.S. citizen, and potentially, speeding up a deportation, taking away his green card, which is supposed to ensure a much greater deal of rights than somebody, for instance, with a visa would have.
Are you finding that people are concerned about a potential chilling effect that they could have on protests?
That is the word. Not just on
That's
protests.
what they want to do.
We have already seen a chilling effect on protests at Columbia and other campuses
Mhm.
following students facing
International
disciplinary action.
students.
We're talking about a chilling effect within the university, within the education system. As we know, those $400 million were removed from federal funding from the university. I've heard from professors and from faculty members who are talking about clashes, and I was at a press conference with a group of professors who were speaking just a few minutes ago, really about an hour ago, who were speaking to their own colleagues within the university, calling out on student protesters, especially those who are foreign-born, in tweets, creating lists and potentially sharing these lists with the government. There's all kinds of
That's so
finger-pointing.
fucked.
And so beyond this order and beyond this executive order or the deportation, there's certainly people self-censoring in fear of retaliation.
Well, that's what they want to do.
Thank you for following.
Because they're scared. That's what they want to do. That's the whole point. Even I'm scared because, now they could come after naturalized citizens, though that would be really much harder than trying to go after green carders because there's, you're actually a citizen. But also, there's a lot more, I think, naturalized citizens than there are green card holders. Green card holders concurrently, I know that they're trying, because you have to apply to switch to a citizenship after a certain amount of years. It's complicated, but at least a federal judge blocked the situation because how it unfolded is illegal, according to our laws. All right, let's do a bit of Bernie, and then I might call it first stream back. Very interesting. Not what I expected, but all right.
My partner, my friend from the weekend, Simone Sanders Towson. You saw that big smile on my face, yes.
Dude, MSNBC is fucking falling apart,
House
man.
Speakers Paul Ryan and John Boehner.
It's wild.
I've been excited about this grouping all day long because, as you could tell from the lead-in, there's a lot of the political dynamics married up with the opportunistic ones. And I think I want to start with Foz, with you.
I think, Death, this is what you were talking about earlier.
With the senator,
Democrats
we were
not
talking
knowing
about
which
before.
direction to
They're
go.
growing. There's almost like campaign style and feel to them in terms of the energy that folks have coming out. Tell us what that's like and what you're hearing specifically from people in a red district. Presumably not everyone in the room is a Democrat, right? So what are you hearing and seeing out there?
Well, Senators now hit 5 districts, congressional districts that have been currently held by Republicans. They're purple districts, but held by Republicans. And each of them, we are outdrawing thousands of people outdrawing our peak of 2020. So we ran for president in 2020, and the numbers here right now are higher than we've ever seen before. And it's telling you something. I think in my mind, I have Bernie Sanders holding a stethoscope up to the Democratic Party and saying, hey, listen to this, the heartbeat of America out there. People are angry and frustrated, and the Musk takeover of government, I promise you, is top of mind for so many people. They find it abhorrent of their values, and they are urging Democrats to stand up and do something and fight for it.
Is it, Simone, do you think it's just the Musk takeover of the government? We've had this ongoing conversation on the weekend. There's a clear grassroots push and pull that's going on here. The push is by the grassroots trying to pull elected officials to hear what they're having to say. Is it more off of Trump's actions or Musk at this point? How do you read this moment?
Well, I guess I would say Donald Trump's actions and Elon Musk's actions are one and the same. You know, the president keeps saying, oh, I've delegated to Elon, and Elon's like, oh, the president's in charge. So he does have to own what Musk is doing, and I would like to remind everybody that Russell Vogt is actually the architect of all of it. I think with Senator Sanders and other Democrats were out in full force this weekend, which, you know, I've been very hard on my Democratic friends over the last couple of weeks. I would argue rightfully so. And I was glad to see the Democrats out and about talking to the voters to hear from them directly. I think what Senator Sanders is tapping into, though, is a frustration that people have and a want to be heard.
Interesting take, Daph.
You know, he launched his tour in my hometown, North Omaha, Nebraska. And I just would like to know, he did this thing where he asked people to yell out what frustrated them. And let me tell you, Bernie Sanders, I know he is not trying to have a little chit-chat at his rally, but he did. He told people to shout out, and then he responded to them. And to me, that says that the temperature at this moment is that people feel like they're not being heard. Now, you can have qualms about, you know, his crowd seeing mostly white. That's fine. You know, Bernie, people.
That is not true. Why do they keep doing that? Like, MSNBC always shoots himself in the foot. Like, Bernie Sanders is like one of, if not the most popular, like senators in the country. Like, it's not all white people. There's a lot of, like, he has a diverse group of, like, supporters. Like, that's wild. I you know, MSNBC is just fucking crazy sometimes. Like, yeah, you know, Newsom I'm keeping an eye on because I know he wants to do a run. I know that. It's just a matter of which cycle. Like, when is the correct time? And if he's able to, you know, overcome his California ties and, like, drama, you know?
Bernie Sanders in that capacity, black and brown crowds might come out somewhere else, although the black women will say we voted for not Donald Trump, so don't call us. But there is something there.
We did our work.
You know, black women be like, well, we did our work and 92% checking in here.
That's fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. I don't want to listen to that bullshit anymore because it's wrong as fuck.
With the Democrats, Senator Sanders.
Let's look at possible recession fears.
Got me, but I think there is so much chaos in the world right now created by Biden. You know, we have a trade war with our two neighbors, Canada and Mexico. You have the President of the United States wanting to take over the Panama Canal.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
God knows what else. We are laying off. Mr. Musk is now laying off or proposing to lay off hundreds of thousands of federal employees. What will that mean to the Veterans Administration? What will that mean to Social Security? What will that mean in terms of unemployment? So I think all of those questions creates a lot of economic uncertainty.
President Trump has said many times on the campaign trail that he would not touch entitlements like Social Security or Medicare, which I know are priorities for you. Elon Musk, however, seems to be leaning in the other direction. I want to play something he said in an interview today to Fox Business.
The wage support in entitlement spending, you know, which is most of the federal spending is entitlements.
Didn't we see this already?
That's like
Fuck
the big
this.
one to eliminate, because that's the sort of
100
waste and fraud, and the reason you just heard him use.
Well, he has called Social Security a Ponzi scheme. they have already laid off 2,500 employees of the Social Security Administration. Anderson, I think I speak for probably every member of the Senate in that the calls that we get in large numbers are people who are saying, I'm trying to get a hold of Social Security, I got a disability issue. I can't get a hold of anybody. And the reason is the Social Security Administration today is understaffed.
Oh my God, Elon is so cringe.
Tens of
Oh my
thousands
fuck.
of people with disabilities die while they're waiting for those benefits to come to fruition. They apply, they're waiting. And now if you do, as Musk and others are proposing, not only 2,500 Social Security employees, they want to cut half of the
Yeah,
Social
he's so rich, he doesn't give
Security
a fuck.
employees. That will be a disaster. That will mean that millions of people will, calling up, they're not going to get an answer. So if you ask me, I think this is a prelude, not only to cutting benefits, but to privatizing Social Security.
Ugh, we do not need to privatize
The
that.
system dysfunctional.
Hi,
Why
Scrim.
would anybody want to support it? And that's consistent with what Trump said in his State of the Union address. Oh, there are millions of people.
I'll see you next time. I don't know when that's gonna be. I hope it's gonna be sometime during the week, but I don't know yet.
Thousands of people, 200 years old and 150 years old. What is all of that about? It happens to be a lie. It's not true. 99% of the benefits go to people, more than that go to people who have paid into them. So why do you lie so much about Social Security? Why do you make it look like it's a broken, dysfunctional system? The reason is to get people to lose faith in the system, and then you can give it over to Wall Street. That's my view.
Is there any way to get more transparency about what Elon Musk is doing? I mean, the only thing like the public sees besides his posts on X are this, so-called wall of receipts. And CNN, the New York Times, David Fahrenthold, the Times has looked at the numbers that are being posted for the alleged savings that they're making, and a lot of them are phony. I mean, $8 billion contract for ICE canceled turned out to be an $8 million contract.
Well, I mean, two things. I am the ranking member, leader of the opposition on the Health Committee, Health, Education, Labor, and I have requested of Senator Cassidy, the chairman of it, to bring Musk before the committee. I think the American people would like to hear him answer questions from members of the United States Senate. I will tell
I agree.
you, Anderson, just this last week,
He's got nothing to hide.
I was in Wisconsin and Michigan. We had, whole lots of people, far more people showing up than I had anticipated. We had 9,000 people in Warren, Michigan. And people are angry. They're confused. They see the richest guy in the world going around saying, hey, we're going to decimate the Veterans Administration. We're going to decimate Social Security. We're going to be laying off people here and there and everywhere. And people are saying, what is going on? So the idea that we have oligarchs, people with incredible wealth.
All right, Death. It's nice to meet you or see you. Apparently, you've been following.
Unacceptable to the vast majority of the American people. Now they're going after Social Security.
Thank you very much. It's really nice.
Veterans Administration, and
See you
obviously
next
in their
time.
so-called reconciliation bill, they want to give huge tax breaks, over $1 trillion in tax breaks to the top 1%, and they pay for that by cutting Medicaid by some $800 billion and cutting nutrition programs for children by a couple $100 billion. So I think the American people are saying, you know what? We're struggling enough right now. 60% living paycheck to paycheck. Don't give tax breaks to billionaires. Got programs to working people. Don't go after Social Security. Don't go after the Veterans Administration and the men and women.
They're going after veterans? That's
Do you
fucked.
see America moving to a kleptocracy where, people have loyalty oaths if you want to get a job in the civil service, where, pay money, you get access?
Well, look, you got.
I mean, that's till as old as time.
Trump's inaugural, as you know, the three richest guys in the country, Musk, Bezos, and Zuckerberg were there. And right behind them were 13 other billionaires who Trump had nominated to head major government agencies. So I would say, without any doubt, that you have a government right now. Lincoln talked about a government of the people, by the people, for the people. I think it's fair to say you have a government today of the billionaires, by the billionaires, and for the billionaires.
And before I let you go, just want to say, Elon Musk, was something Elon Musk said today about your colleague, Senator Mark Kelly, after Senator Kelly posted on X about a trip he'd made to Ukraine over the weekend. Musk commented, "You are a traitor."
What?
I mean, it's disgusting. It is absolutely. By the way, Kelly is a military guy.
Yeah.
Country.
Yo, what the fuck?
To get a sense
Yo, what the fuck?
Are responding
That's
to
crazy.
Trump's, betrayal of the country, if you like, and you have Musk talking about Mark Kelly as a traitor. I mean, it is really unspeakable. It really is. And I think the American people
what the
are sick
fuck?
and tired of the wealthiest guy in the world running the United States government and calling, in this case, a guy who put his life on the line to defend us a traitor. That's beyond the pale.
And about Ukraine too. Like, what the fuck?
Whammy for Elon Musk today. First,
All right, I'm going to call it a night, guys. It's like almost 10 here. Thank you for watching. I did not expect all that happened during the last like 3 hours to happen, but it was fun. It reminded me of why I like doing this as a hobby. But yeah, I will see you. Thank you very much, T-Bird. I will see everyone next time. Have a good night, day, or morning, wherever you are.